outstanding day to be alive and well with you. My name's Tony Basilio, ensconced in the Rainier studio back on terra firma, which turned you upside down, as they say in the trade. Bino, Jeff, good morning to you, brother. How you doing, man?
Good morning, Tony and Brian. Welcome back, Tony. Just in time for the real deal, Holyfield.
You got it, brother. I'm excited. Jake Paul and Tyrone Woodley last night kicked off my sports week. I'm sure both you and Brian were watching that boxing exhibition last night, no question about it. As we're live today in the Rainier studio with you, very excited to be here. Excited to be a part of all this, and this week's going to be a lot of fun. We've got a tremendous day on the program, a celebration of sorts for where we're heading, and we're extremely excited about it. We are going to, the number's 865-200-5402 if you'd like to join us. Got to tell you a quick story of just the power of what we do and just how funny it all is. So yesterday, Bino, Jeff, was my son's first full day in Philadelphia, and he had some golfing duties. So they caught an Uber out of the city of Philadelphia.
It's still raining.
And
I'm sorry.
I was driving back. I was in the middle of Virginia.
You're going to stand there and look at the rain, and you're going to walk away.
I left yesterday 5:30 in the morning.
All right.
Out of the Philly area to get back here. Got a ton of stuff to do as a ramp up, obviously, to the season. Got 3 or 4 new sponsors we're going to add to the show.
We're not one yet. Like,
very,
subscribe,
very
comment, share.
Just trying to if you haven't heard from me, and
all that.
Work on scheduling for the Up All Night extravaganza presented by your Garza Law Firm.
We'll be there, Tony.
I'll get with you. So, ton of moving parts here, moving left to right on your radio dial. He says, Dad,
Sorry,
you're not going to
Mr.
believe this
Kenworth.
in a text. I'm driving in my Uber, and the Uber driver is listening to the sports. It has a sports station on in his car, 94 WIP. And he says, Dad, Titans Bill just came on the radio in Philadelphia.
Oh, Lord.
Beautiful.
Bino, what is the irony of your in Philadelphia driving? You're back in that city thinking to yourself, what in the world am I doing when I could be in East Tennessee right now? You're my son. You're just trying to get reacclimated to that. And on the radio pops Titans Bill. I mean, could you make that up, Bino, Jeff Henderson? Is that an omen for the upcoming season? I think it's a great omen. Brian, how does that grab you, Brian? Do you think it's a great omen, Brian, for the upcoming season? Yes.
Yeah, I'd say so, yes.
Yeah. Bino, Jeff, how's it grab you?
It grabs me that Anthony has to be thinking, am I ever going to get out of my dad's world?
Interesting.
Oh, my God. Every
865-200-5402.
start of a delivery, something
Prayers
like
up
this
to our
happens.
friends down in Louisiana.
Every time.
Amen.
And
Why are you all stopping? It's a
I'm not
fucking
making
green
light of
light.
this. I wanna see what they said on the
Go!
blog today at
I mean,
the
not now,
T-Club
but fuck, what?
15, but Orange Road has a really terrific report there. All right, let's guess here, Bino. 45 minutes out. Do you believe that we hear Josh Heupel say today, my starting quarterback is whomever? Does he say my starting quarterback is? Does he name a starter, Bino, Jeff?
I'm going to say no, Tony.
And is that because no one's won
Fuck.
a job? Why is he not naming a starter, Bino?
I believe Joe Milton. Excuse me.
Time, Bino.
I believe Joe Milton will obviously take the first snaps.
Yeah.
I'm not sure this coaching staff is going to actually name a starting quarterback until Florida. I believe everybody's going to play game one. I believe at least two will play against Pitt. I believe everybody plays against Tennessee Tech. I think we're going to know who our real starting quarterback is in Gainesville.
Gainesville.
865-200-5402. Definitely in 11 days is when it gets real. I was on a show in Atlanta over the weekend with the great Chris Groveforth and Randy McMichael, and it's one of the things I was telling them, this, because they were asking, I put this in the blog today, they were asking about Harrison Bailey, the local kid, and I said, look, I'm not here to burst anybody's bubble, but he's not close to starting for the Vols. And it's not, and they were like, huh? And I said, look, it's not a knock on him. He's just not close. He's not, he's not there. And they're not there on him. But it doesn't mean that, hey, if Joe Milton gets out there and against Pitt, he looks like that Martinez kid from Nebraska. I mean, hey, if you look at the Nebraska kid, the Martinez kid from Nebraska against Illinois, you can go out there and lose your job. That's how that works. Milton's going to start Thursday. Whether they say that or not, like Bino Jeff says.
All right, 1,099
Seems like an interesting little tug of war going on. I don't know if it's tug of war. That's probably a little strong term. But there seems to be... Alex Golesh seems to be a rather strong figure driving this thing. And if you'll go back to his initial press conference, I guess it would have been about a month ago, outside of camp, he said, I don't want to name a starting quarterback till we walk out there for Bowling Green. I don't want you to know who's going to start till the Bowling Green game. And I believe that's where this thing's...
Hiccups are done. We're on our way.
Jeff. I don't think the Vols say today who the starting quarterback is. If they do, here's a prediction for you. If they do, and when they do, when they release that depth chart, if Milton's name's at the top, there's either one of two scenarios are going to happen today. They're either going to go Joe Milton or Hooker or
how are we on sleep?
Bailey. So they'll go Bailey or Hooker or Milton, and they'll have them in that order for alphabetical reasons. Or they're going to say Milton's number one with Bailey and Hooker bracketed underneath of that. I believe the order has been throughout camp and remains Milton 1, Hooker 2, Bailey 3. Now, is that the order they go into the game?
Out of my way.
Bowling Green? No idea. To Bino's point, in the Pitt game, will 2 play? I don't know. That's a pretty good hot take from Bino. Bri, do you agree with that? That in the Pitt game we see 2 quarterbacks?
Spoke too soon.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Depends on how the game is going. It depends on a few things. I would say there's a good chance.
2 quarterbacks?
I think the quarterback will be. I think we'll know before the Pitt game who the quarterback is going to be. I kind of don't think it'll take the Gainesville. I think we'll know. I think that
very
think
kind
there's a
of
good
you.
chance
Thank
that
you.
all 3 quarterbacks play against Tennessee. Well, at least there better be more than 1 quarterback playing against Tennessee.
Well, all 3 of them are going to play in that game, bro.
There better be more than 1.
And all 3 are playing. And all 3 are playing Thursday night.
Yeah, so.
It's the
I
same
don't
as
think,
2 minutes ago when you asked.
He knows what
It's
to do with
still
quarterback. I don't
raining,
think he'd
baby.
wait
You're
that
not
long
gonna
to
wanna go
determine who the
out.
starting quarterback. I think he'll know after the
Cats,
Pitt
man.
game. I don't think it'll take the Gainesville.
Another thing that we want to welcome
Well,
back,
stared
and
me
again,
down.
I'm not
This is what the hell?
making light of what's going on in Louisiana at all. God bless those people.
Yeah,
Pray
man.
Pray for New Orleans and all those
Horrible.
things. That's just horrible.
Horrible.
Last night, Lady Vol Soccer. Lady Vol Soccer last night. Guys, there's not a rain cloud within 200 miles of Knoxville right now. And they, or last
There
night.
wasn't last night either.
And they had a lightning delay, Brian, that lasted how long?
30 minutes.
Why?
It has to last 30 minutes.
Brian Pensky, why?
I don't know.
Brian Pensky, what are you
It's a stupid
doing?
rule the SEC has.
I blame Brian Pensky. Brian Pensky, who's listening right now? Brian, can't you throw your weight around? Can't you throw your weight around, Bri?
Stop.
And say, damn, we're not going to take it, D. Snyder. 30-minute rain delay or lightning delay. There's no rain in the area. Walk out there with your Doppler radar.
Radar.
And again, I'm not making light of the weather, but we're in lightning season.
Well,
And
weren't
that can
they
only
at
mean one
Tennessee
thing,
Tech,
Bino,
though?
Jeff.
So,
And what is that one thing, Bino, Jeff, that means when we're in lightning season, Bino, Jeff? That means that we are
in football
Thursday
season.
night. Are we going to get a rain? Because there's going to be inclement weather in our area. Is there going to be a rain delay? Is we going to get a lightning delay? It's so.
Yeah,
I
we
think
should
it's
be
going to be
okay
out.
by
I think
then.
it's going to be gone by then.
Who knows?
Thank you, Brian. Who knows?
Who knows?
It looks good right now.
Who knows?
Fuck,
We're
Tony,
getting a
come
lightning
on,
delay
man.
at Noon in the late summer season here. Is there going to be lightning crackling down in Chattanooga? Could we get like an hour lightning delay? Is there going to be lightning over Birmingham, Alabama? I mean, when you start factoring in the square mileage and the rules, it's the dumbest. When I say it's the dumbest thing going, Bino, I asked today on the blog, and I'm serious about this. How many times in this world we live in where everything's documented now, through whatever social media you follow, how many times have you ever seen lightning strike somebody?
Turn right.
How many times
I
have you
have
ever seen
been
lightning
struck
strike
by
somebody
lightning,
at a
Tony.
sporting event? How many
Inadvertent,
stadiums have you
or
ever
not
seen lightning
inadvertent,
hit?
but through.
And I'm not trying to be glib about it because
All right.
I'm afraid of lightning. I don't like lightning.
Here's a story. As a kid, I was
I have
at
an
my
aversion
cousin's
to lightning.
house. Oh,
When it's lightning
kid, I was
outside,
probably like
and I'm in my car and I'm
probably
trying to get in the
12.
house, I hightail.
But we were
you know,
playing
I run like I'm running from the popo.
PlayStation
I mean,
2.
I'm flying.
and we had his windows open, and he had a metal bunk
We
bed.
talked about this,
And it was just about
quite
to
a bit
start
last
storming.
year, Tony.
And we're sitting there leaning up against the
I don't
bed.
think there's ever been a
and,
reported incident
out
of
of the corner of our eye, we see
anyone being
lightning
struck
come
by
through the
lightning
window,
at a sporting event.
hit the bed,
I
and
don't
shocked
believe.
us both. Like,
Um,
not making that bullshit up. It
and if
happened.
you take
I don't know
our
why they called it
offensive
bullshit.
approach and what could happen to our defense, and an 8 o'clock start,
Also, a place
And
that I
SEC
used to work
lightning
at a
rule.
few years back.
you may be up all night
There
before
was a
you
former
even get to
employee
start
before
your
I
show.
got there who was killed by lightning.
You're exactly right. I mean, Thursday night, if you get one of those
Sad
delays,
story.
it's such a bummer. And look, let me be the first to say, I'm all for keeping the kids safe. I'm all for this lightening the load on preseason practice and not grinding
How
the
heavy
football
is
players
this
into the
load? This
ground.
thing is
I'm all for NIL.
46,000.
I'm all for the
today.
student athlete. But this, I don't even know what this is born from, because Brian was making a great point. So my son was telling me, he said, Dad, I said, what was your, when he was working with the Smokies this summer, what was your delay like tonight, Aunt? He goes, Dad, we didn't have one. I said, you guys just played in that storm? He said, oh yeah, you could see he said, Major League Baseball doesn't have a lightning rule. So it's left up to the discretion of the umpires. You know, it's funny he said that because I was at a game, and I'm sitting there with my brother, and we're going, surely they're calling this game. And lightning was popping all around the outside of the stadium. And again, I have an aversion to lightning. But as long as people were sitting there, I was sitting there, because I'm like, well, it's got to be somewhat safe, or they wouldn't be. And I was thinking, if this was a college football game, we would literally be under the stands for 4 hours if this was going on.
Right.
And that's not an exaggeration. I mean, I wish it was an exaggeration.
I don't think it's always been like this, has it?
No, this lightning delay thing, Brian.
The first lightning delay
Is-
I remember was
What
that
year do we play West Virginia?
Tennessee Arkansas
It was 2018.
game. I think it's
And
That's when it started.
Well,
it's
2018,
2002?
2017, 2016.
the NFL's even going there.
One
too.
that went into
This is probably a
bunch
five-year-old
of
deal, and I don't
overtimes.
understand it. Because Major League Baseball literally has no policy against it. And I'm not going to lie to you. Sitting in the stands in Philly with the lightning popping around us, I felt kind of scared. I don't like lightning. Again, I've got an aversion to it. I'm a human being. And I reserve the right
All right, we're almost up to 3 million.
I reserve the right to
I think
feel
we'll
that
definitely
way.
reach it before we get to
865-200-5402. Another thing I
Hell
want to enter
yeah.
into the conversation
Genevieve,
today, aside from
why'd
the
you
fact
make
that
like
you're going to see some of that going on, is welcome back college football. Look, the games this weekend weren't very good. That Nebraska-Illinois game was pretty freaking compelling. Did anybody among us watch that? Present company, before we go to the phones, did either
Can't
one
do
of you
it.
have a chance?
I just don't give two
to see
shits about
Nebraska,
football
Illinois? Bino, Jeff,
other
I know you were
than
busy with the
my
tournament.
team, the Vols.
Did you see
Yeah, I did not, Tony. I read the accounts of it, but I didn't see a minute of it.
I mean, I'll put a game on,
Ryan,
but
did
it's
you?
most of the
Yeah,
time
I
background
saw
noise.
not the whole game, but a good part of it.
Yeah, me too. So I was at my brother's house, and we were moving the last of my son's stuff into the city, but they were watching a lot of golf, so I ended up watching a good portion of that on my phone. And it was interesting watching Nebraska implode in a game they had control of in the first half.
Chair.
Probably should have won
Bad.
easily.
All right, get a little bit of light going.
It's so
Not that.
weird watching that
Alright,
Martinez guy
1,027
play and thinking he
miles.
should have been here or could have been
Three-
here, would have been here.
$3 million
At this
in our
point
bank
in his
account,
career,
baby.
He looks
Hell
like
yeah.
Jared
Okay,
Garantano with a lot of speed.
we're going to die. We're going
Does
to
that
die on this one.
jump out at you, Brian? Very erratic thrower of the ball.
He missed a lot of wide open receivers all day long.
Yeah, just
in the end zone, all over the place.
I mean, no offense to Angie, but just a horrible.
75.
He loves Gitmo, but he's just a horrible quarterback. Just can't play. Got great wheels. Can run like the day. That's the thing that separates him from Gitmo. He can run like the wind when he gets in the open field. Scored a 75-yard touchdown run and nobody touched him. He can fly, but just can't play quarterback. And the other thing about Adrian Martinez is I think it's lazy to compare him to Garantano because I believe Adrian Martinez in the right situation probably is a good quarterback. But when you learn how to lose and that becomes your identity, that's what happens.
Why
It's
is it
kind of like,
showing that we
Bino,
gotta go
in New
back
York
the other
City
way?
comparing the Mets and the Yankees. The New York Mets just know how to lose, Bino. It doesn't matter how many great pitchers they have, how many acquisitions they make. Now they're feuding with their fans, Bino.
There we
People
go.
are.
Okay, that was weird.
I've never seen in professional sports a group of players deciding we're going to feud with our fans to the point where a general manager goes out on the record after a game and calls his own players a disgrace like that. Can you guys ever remember that? A general manager saying, we are not going to tolerate Javi Baez, who is a punk and a clown. A punk and a clown in every sense of the word. Javi Baez sucks for who he thinks he is as a baseball player.
Is he hitting like 200 since he's been
Complete
over
loser. He's a complete loser.
there? I don't even think he's hitting 200.
Making millions of dollars. You deserve to get booed, man. Bino, it's
Yeah,
funny.
it doesn't matter what city you move Javi Baez to, he's still Javi Baez.
Punk. And he is and his disease
Oh,
is
Tony.
catchy. He's spread it to fellow teammates, which is really sad.
Yeah, when you drag Lindor into something like that,
I can't see
that's
anything.
quite a feat.
And then come out after the game and say, well, we're putting our fingers down. See, what that meant. It's one thing to do it.
It's randomly something he did. I mean, it just seemed like it's so random to do something like
And
that.
it's another thing to say, well, we're booing you now. When we get hits, we're booing you. Shh. I mean, I'm not even I'm a pussycat. I would be tempted to throw something at a guy like that. I mean, I'm not kidding. That's so in your face as a sports fan. I mean, the nerve of these millionaire punks. Let's go to the phones. Get as many people in
Hey,
here.
Tony, going back
Yeah.
real quick to
Yes.
Nebraska.
Yeah.
As bad as our struggles have been over a decade, I would much rather be in our position than theirs. That's a team that's not only lost its identity, but it looks like that it's whiffed on its appointed savior.
I guess it didn't pause the game, huh?
They had Devaney and Osborne back to back, and we had Majors and Fulmer. It would almost be like had Peyton gone into coaching and gone somewhere and been real successful, and come back here and flopped. At least wise I don't know that we'll have another. I don't know that we'll have another guy to come along that's our own that we could look at as the guy to come back and save the program. But where do you go after that? Where do you go after that, Faith?
Question today.
I really thought that was an absolute home run hire when they made it. Can't miss, home run hire.
Question today is, are you excited on top of everything else about this week and then anything that's on your mind? I feel sorry for Nebraska, and I'm with Bino. As long as they're a part of the Big Ten, they got no chance. None. None. Never going to happen. With the accent on never. Let's go to the phones. 865-200-5402. 200-5402 is the number if you want to join. Let's get Mark in Columba, who will lead things off for us.
Really?
Mark in Columba, good morning to you. Always good to talk with you, my brother. Are you looking forward to Garza Law up all night? And would you like to come on and break it down with us as a special guest host in the middle of the night in order to wake people up with their hatred of you?
For basketball season, or
what?
Oh, football?
Bino, why can't this guy just enjoy something, Bino?
Is the game Thursday?
Bino, why can't this guy just enjoy something, Bino?
Mark has just reached that point in his fandom where he can't pass by a punch bowl without taking a whiz in it.
Have you been there, Bino, as a sports fan? Have you ever been there?
No, and if I do, I'll just completely quit.
Yeah, I've been close, though. I'm not going to lie to Mark. I've been, I've had times where I've gotten very close to where Mark's at, where you just become acerbic, and you become bitter, and you become broken, and you become just a stone cold loser. Go ahead, Brian.
There's a lot of fans that really are sort of in the same place he is, where they don't expect much.
Okay, so we shouldn't throw off on him.
Well, I'm just saying he's not the only one.
No, you're being fair.
But
Mark does speak for a segment of our fan base, and I'm not going to throw Mark out or cast aspersions on him for that reason. So I appreciate you pointing that out, Brian. So Mark, what's on your mind today, buddy?
I mean, just think if Scott Frost would have been smart and taken the Florida job, we'd have Dan Mullen as our coach right now. Probably won an SEC East championship already.
Maybe in the fourth year.
Or Chip Kelly.
Fourth year or fifth year.
Funny how things work.
Yep, and it's funny. Brian mentioned Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly's in the process of turning UCLA around. They were impressive.
Hey, Tony.
Over the weekend.
They're going to give LSU something.
I'm telling you, that's going to be a hell of a game. Now, you got two really good games in this league. You got that and the Clemson, Georgia. You get me excited right now because those are two great games this weekend coming up.
Because if I can have one result this weekend, it's UCLA beating LSU because the chaos that's going to cause will be hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd be surprised.
He will be. They're looking for a reason to get rid of him.
Sure they are.
Without having to pay him.
Think about the fan situation.
Sure they are.
They know.
What fan situation, Brian?
UCLA fans don't care. Are LSU fans, given the I know it's trivial next to a football game, but given the travel issues, do you think there'll be many of them travel?
Is there something going on in California I don't know about? They had 25,000 people at their game over the weekend. Did y'all see that? I'm not kidding you. They had 25,000 people in the Cavern
know it was
Stadium.
really hot in Fresno.
Okay, are they having something with the virus where you can't go?
Every place is, Tony.
Seed, or I don't think that's the case because I was watching a.
It could be the opponent.
Well, I had an MLS game on Saturday night. I'm a total degenerate, like I told you, and that thing was filled over there in Carson, California, which is right near there. Bino, Jeff Henderson, is there something going on in California right now I don't know about?
Tony, not to my knowledge. I haven't seen where they have any fan restrictions. So I don't think so. And to Mark's point,
yeah,
I've read a lot of these SEC previews, and all of them kind of have a little segment on hot seats. And they're saying that basically no one's on the hot seat because of so many. Most of the ones that were surprisingly fired during the pandemic season. But Ed Orgeron is one that could get there really quick, and Mark's right. Saturday could be the day that kind of moves him toward that seat.
To those people, I'll say this, Mark. We haven't seen in the modern era in the last 20 years a year where every coach comes back, I don't think. Now, somebody that's real sicko could go look at that. I don't remember a time where every coach returns. We always have change in this league, and LSU is a hot. I believe it's a hot spot where that could happen this year. A great candidate is that guy, no doubt about it.
With everything going on there off the field, and last year they were horrible.
Horrible.
And they said, we figured it out. Well, no, you barely beat Arkansas in the last year. You barely beat all them.
Fuck!
Somehow they beat, and the caller Florida knows this is true. Somehow they went to Florida and beat them when they were like a 21-point underdog, which is what the Vols are going to do. It's what the Vols are going to do this year. No Kyle Pitts, no Kyle Trask, no Tony, no 4 offensive linemen, no all the losses in their secondary, all the losses in their offensive line. Mark and Columba, you need to get on board for a 4-0 September start. And when that happens, Mark and Columba, are you going to come with hat in hand when that happens? Are you going to come with hat in hand on here? I want to know.
Well, Tony, I'll make a deal with you. If they land Walter Nolan, I'll put a foot back in the pool.
All right, I'll tell you this.
Do that,
I'll tell you this right now.
I ain't going there.
Well, based on what I'm hearing, you better walk toward that pool because I'm gonna have some reportage tomorrow on that in the blog. You better you better start walking. If Landon Walter Nolan is your big condition,
right,
you better start walking toward that pool. I'll say
I need
this.
A minute.
Get your bathing suit on. Get your bathing suit on, big boy, if that's the case. Because I don't want you jumping in with your jorts
my cat
on
was
you
like
wear up at no cutoffs. My pool
pushing
has no
something
cutoffs on.
across
I
the
ain't cut off
ground, and I
jeans
was
in my
just,
pool.
I admired her for a second.
They land Walter Nolan, I'll put a foot back in the water.
You
And
hear
I look
me?
back
Get your
up
bathing
and-
suit on. Get your bathing suit on.
On our program, we land him, and he'll be the biggest bust in the history of the Rivals Network.
Well, I'll say this for him.
They land him, I'll put a foot back in the pool.
Well,
but if they do land him, Tony, it'll make me ask this question. Why didn't we just hire Rodney Garner to be the head coach?
But if we do land him, so in other words, the head coach gets no credit. You going to do like the people do to Rick Barnes? It's
Well,
just
do
his
you
recruiting
think that he would
assistants.
land Walter Nolan without Rodney Garner?
Well, I don't. Let me say this to you. Who hired Rodney Garner? Mark, why can't you just give this guy some credit? Huh?
Same.
Do what? Who hired Rodney Garner? Who hired Rodney Garner?
Well, Rodney didn't have a lot of places to go.
All right, Mark, you're at it. Mark, stick a fork in him. And you're lucky I didn't play the drums on you today, but you're a clown. It's game week. I want to bear down. Or the drums would have been played on you. 37 past the hour. Let's get Bill in here. Bill, we're off to a rip-roaring start. 865-200-5402. Give Josh Heupel credit. Mark, you embarrassed yourself today. Bill, hello.
Hey, how you doing, Tony? Let me take you off speaker, buddy.
Please do. Bill, when you called Bill, did you call WIP yesterday in Philadelphia? Was my son telling the truth? Is that true? Bill, are you there?
Tony?
Yes, Bill.
Okay, go ahead, buddy.
Did you call WIP in Philadelphia? Bino wants to know if that's a true story. Because Bino thinks
it is a true story, Bino. I did call WIP.
Bino thinks I stretch the truth sometimes.
Well, I do think that, Titans Bill, but I believe that you were on WIP yesterday. What did you ask them? What was the topic?
Well, I was going to comment on, the Gardner Minshew trade, and they brought up Mr. Ed. And I told those guys who did the voice of Mr. Ed. A person by the name of Alan Rocky Lane. Now, Alan Rocky Lane was an actor. He starred in a lot of low-budget cowboy movies. He was among that elite with people like Roy Rogers, Gene Autry,
Yep.
Lash LaRue,
Yep. Lash
Sunset Carson,
Yep.
Johnny Mac Brown, who was a great running back when he played for the University of Alabama. I thought I'd bring that up, Tony.
And when you brought that up, how fast was your phone call, Bill? How long did you last on the air?
Well, they didn't care because I told them who did the voice.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you have to have a person that can do the voice of a certain. It's like a cartoon.
Well, let me ask you this, Bill. How did they keep you on and talk to you like we are? Or they blow you up like I just blew up Columba?
No, they didn't blow me up.
Oh, well, how do you know they didn't care?
Yeah, it seemed like they didn't care who did the voice of it. They just loved the horse and loved the female that played the role of Alan Young's wife
Those two guys are creepers. Who was the lady that played Mr. Ed's wife?
Oh boy, I believe it's Connie Hines.
Bino grew up with Mr. Ed. Bino, were you a Mr. Ed fan?
We're calm.
Male that they
Lumba. Let me
have to have a person. University of True Rogers starred in a lot of Mr. Ed. Well,
I did
call them ahead, buddy.
Telling the truth,
buddy.
Please do. Credit. 7 past the hour. Mark, stick a fork in him. And you're lucky I didn't play the.
Rodney Garner.
All right.
If we do land them, so in other words, the head coach gets no credit. You going to do like the people do to Rick Barnes? It's
Well,
just
do
his
you think
recruiting
that he would land
assistants.
Walter Nolan without Rodney Garner?
Well, I don't. Let me say this to you. Who hired Rodney Garner? Mark, why can't you just
Somebody
give this
did.
guy some credit? Huh?
Man.
Do what? Who hired
don't know
Rodney
why.
Garner? Who hired Rodney Garner?
Well, Rodney didn't have a lot of places to go.
All right, Mark, you're at it. Mark,
Here.
stick a fork in him. And you're lucky I didn't play the drums on you today, but you're a clown. It's game week. I want to bear down.
Oh, it's
The
game
drums would have
week.
been played on you. 37 past the hour. Let's get Bill in here. Bill, we're off to a rip-roaring start. 865-200-5402. Give Josh Heupel credit. Mark, you embarrassed yourself today. Bill, hello.
Hey, how you doing, Tony? Let me take you off speaker, buddy.
Please do. Bill, when you called, Bill, did you call WIP yesterday in Philadelphia? Was my son telling the truth? Is that true? Bill, are you there?
Tony?
Yes, Bill.
Okay, go ahead, buddy.
Did you call WIP in Philadelphia? Bino wants to know if that's a true story, because Bino thinks
It is a true story, Bino. I did call the whip.
Bino thinks I stretch
The whip.
Bino thinks I stretch the truth sometimes.
Well, I do think that, Titans Bill, but I believe that you were on WIP yesterday. What did you ask them? What was the topic?
Well, I was going to comment on, the Gardner Minshew trade, and they brought up Mr. Ed. And I told those guys who did the voice of Mr. Ed. A person by the name of Alan Rocky Lane. Now, Alan Rocky Lane was an actor. He starred in a lot of low-budget cowboy movies. He was among that elite with people like Roy Rogers, Gene Autry,
Yep.
Lash LaRue,
Yep.
Sunset Carson,
Yep.
Johnny Mac Brown, who was a great running back when he played for the University of Alabama. I thought I'd bring that up, Tony.
And when you brought that up, how fast was your phone call, Bill? How long did you last on the air?
Well, they didn't care. Because I told them who did the voice. It's like, you have to have a person that can do the voice of a certain. It's like a cartoon.
What the hell, buddy?
Let me ask you this:
1 mile, turn left.
How did they keep you on and talk to you like we are? Or they blow you up like I just blew up Columba?
Turn left.
No, they didn't blow me up.
Oh, well, how do you know they didn't care?
Yeah, well, it seemed like they didn't care who did the voice of it. They just loved the horse and loved the female that played the role of Alan Young's wife.
Those two guys are creepers. Who was the lady that played Mr. Ed's wife?
Oh boy, I believe it's Connie Hines.
Bino grew up with Mr. Ed. Bino, were you a Mr. Ed fan?
Turn left.
I was a Mr. Ed fan, Tony. And I wonder why you think they would blow up a caller when they're talking about Mr. Ed. Looks to me like they needed a caller.
A horse is a horse, of course, and no one.
Hi, I'm Mr. Ed. That was Alan Rocky Lane. That was his voice.
No one can talk to a horse, of course.
Oh, Lord.
Unless, of course, that famous horse. Unless, of course, how's that go? Unless, of course.
Of course. The horse, the famous Mr. Ed. Yeah, when it first came on, Tony, it was syndicated.
A fast phone call.
Okay, Tony. I was making the comment on the Gardner Minshew trade.
Okay.
They didn't agree with me. I said you got you an A1 quality quarterback. They didn't agree with me on that.
I'll tell you this: people there think he's like going to be insurance, and I think he's going to play before the season's over because I don't believe in Jalen Hurts. Now that might be something that doesn't age well. Kind of like Tim Brando going on Feinbaum and saying that Scott Frost is going to win multiple national championships in Nebraska. multiple national championships. Not get him back into contention, but multiple national championships is what Brando said. I believe that the kid from Alabama, just like the other guy at Alabama, the best quarterback to come out of Alabama in the last piece is going to be the guy that's up in New England. The other two guys can't play. That's my belief. Brian, can the guy in Miami play, in your humble opinion?
He's very fragilistic.
He's very fragilistic. I like that word. He's very average.
Yeah, and I don't know about that level, but Mac Jones looks like he's more NFL type to me than either of those two.
Bino, Jalen Hurts or Tua, do you believe in either one of those two guys long-term as viable NFL quarterbacks?
I do not, Tony.
No, Tony, I don't.
Oh,
and I like
close.
both. I mean, both guys were nice college players. Just a completely different level, obviously. Up there, the quick snap, getting balls in windows. You got to get in. I mean, you have to be very good to play Division I college ball. You have to be amazing to play in the NFL. And
I think obviously Tua throws it better than Jalen does, but if you ask me which one 3 years from now we'll look up and may still be playing and a real productive quarterback, I would say Jalen, simply because I just think he's more durable than Tua.
I agree with that. Tua is just a little guy. Couldn't stay healthy when he was in major college football. How in the hell are you going to stay healthy in the NFL? And as for Titans-Bills' point about Gardner Minshew, I think that guy's a gamer. I think if that guy got on the field in Philly, I think they'd really like him. Now, I don't know long-term what he could be. Brian could speak more to that as a Jaguar fan. but he had a pretty freaking great first year.
His first game, he came in and completed, I think, 22 out of 24 passes or something crazy like that. And they should have got more than a 6th-round pick for him. Meyer really mishandled the QB situation by pretending there was a competition and then splitting the first team reps up like that and then not even getting anything more than a 6th-round pick for him. For Minshew, that is.
I think Minshew's Ryan Fitzpatrick. I think he's
That's
a
a
reliever.
good analogy,
That's
Bino.
good. Not right. Not wrong with a little Fitzmagic every once in a while.
No.
Titan fans.
No, it's not.
Well, he'll come in and lead a team to the play. I think he's capable of leading somebody to the playoffs.
Sure.
He
Nothing
definitely
wrong.
is. The
Nothing
right
wrong.
situation, that is.
Nothing wrong with a little Fitzmagic. And the Eagles getting him for a 6th-round pick is a nice acquisition by that club. It really is.
I believe also, Tony, that a change of scenery could help Sam Darnold over in Carolina.
No.
Carolina right now is trying to acquire the guy from Houston.
How many?
So I'd
I
watch
think that would be a very dumb idea on their part.
The guy
Yeah.
from Houston, he's either going to go back
Miami. Who's the only
I believe
California
he'll go to Miami.
USC quarterback?
From the Carolinas,
I mean, not
he
like
wants to go back to
obviously Aaron
Florida.
Rodgers went to Cal, but
And,
I
USC.
think you're
Let's say
right about
USC
Darnold
because
Pattonville.
man, these USC. Who was the first
I
one?
think
Palmer.
that he'll
Palmer
play
was
well
probably the
in
only
Carolina this year. And I
successful
think
one. After
anybody
Palmer was
benefits
what?
from a change of
Leinart.
scenery and
Leinart
getting
was
away from either one of those
garbage.
New York professionals.
Isn't that funny,
Who
Vito? The
else?
Jets and the
Like-
Mets are total messes. If
Jets
you're-
and the Giants.
Well,
Came
no, if
after
you're a
Leinart,
Jets Mets fan, like what a lot of
I don't
people
know.
are,
Oh
in
yeah,
that area.
yeah, they're both.
Barkley,
frankly.
Darnold.
And the Giants have a
Mitch
disgraceful
Mustaine.
head coach.
I don't know if he
And
counts
right now,
as
a
USC
disgraceful
one. But
organization, which I'm glad we're in their division. It's like 2 guaranteed wins.
yeah,
Although not
just
for the Eagles.
failure
The
after
Eagles will struggle to
failure.
win 6,
Who are
7
we
games,
missing?
I think. But Titans Bill, much love to you. Great phone call.
Barkley,
Titans Bill, stay away from Mr. Ed. You're going to get blown up.
Darnold.
We come back. Make no mistake about it. But Mark Tanball wants to jump in. If you want to get in with us. And then Josh Heupel coming up today. And in the noon hour, does he name a starting quarterback? And is there other news? And then in light of the T. Hodge leaving Tennessee, I thought it'd be interesting to talk about why local players seem to have trouble finding their footing and why guys that go away from here seem to blow up. It is the weirdest thing if you stop and think
It's
about
not
that.
when you
I
think
have
about
a few
local
thoughts.
high school
And see if
football,
Bino and
Tony.
Brian
It's
do as well.
complete
We're gonna
garbage.
continue on the other side.
It's
Josh
like
Heupel coming up.
Going from
A few more phone
grasshoppers straight to
calls, though,
college ball. Like it,
as
no.
we break it down with you
I
scientifically
mean,
on a
who
Monday
has
after
made
this.
the impact?
word and get the app at TonyBasilio.com for Android and iPhones.
The McGaha kid
Your last
from
chance to
Powell a
support
few
your
years ago that
Tennessee
went
Smokies. The
to
week of September 6th is
Michigan
their last
State.
homestand. Every night has a great promotion like Taco Tuesday with $2 soft tacos, all you can eat Wednesday, Thirsty Thursday with $1, $2, and $3 beer specials, and then the weekend. Friday will be UT
Damn
night with a
exit.
Tony Vitello bobblehead giveaway. Saturday, the last fireworks show of the season, and Sunday is Fan Appreciation Day with a Javi Baez blanket giveaway. Woo, there's a lot going on. So pick a day. You can't go wrong. Get your tickets now at SmokiesBaseball.com.
Your Tony Basilio radio family is so excited about the Josh Heupel era at Tennessee. that
And
we decided to
white
celebrate by staying
never
up all night.
falter, never
What more would you
yield
expect from the
as
show
we
of
march
record
on
in
down
volunteer
the
country?
field.
Our entire cast and crew is on deck, ringing in the new era with a special all-night marathon edition of Garza Law
I know you're in
Tennessee
front of me,
football,
just-
fifth quarter immediately following Tennessee and Bowling Green. As soon as Tennessee and Bowling Green goes final,
There you go,
we're up all night
idiot.
celebrating
Put your damn brakes
the
on the
rebirth
interstate
of
again
Tennessee
in front of
football
me.
with you. So stay
Make
with
sure your
us
ass
all night
is
until the
squished.
following day's Tony Basilio show.
Freaking ridiculous,
Everybody
man.
will be
What are we?
heard. No holds or callers will be barred. Thursday, September 2nd into Friday, September 3rd. Stay up with us. We celebrate a new era of Tennessee Tennessee football. Tennessee football up all night. Presented by Marcos
all
Garza
night.
and your Garza Law Firm. Online at GarzaLaw.com. Smoothie King.
All right, no more
Do
wrecks,
something great
damn
for
it.
yourself at Smoothie King. Performance medicine. Perform your best with Performance Medicine. Miller Lite and Alumni Hall. And the best on-air team in America on the best post-game show ever heard, serving the greatest fan base on God's green earth. Let's celebrate.
Let's do it.
Tennessee
Be there.
Football season after the Bowling Green game. It's Tennessee up all night. Go Vols.
Still raining.
PB here for Cedar Bluff Plumbing, a live and local company that's been serving our area for over 32 years and counting, because every customer counts, and I mean no job is too small. Cedar Bluff Plumbing just voted #1 by City View magazine because multiple plumbing experts are on call to serve all your plumbing needs. Chances are there'll be a plumber in your area when
We're
you
gonna lose
call,
so
and
much
they
money on
won't send
this.
some salesman to your house. You're going to get a high-character, trustworthy, highly trained plumber who will serve you, not like some of these guys that look like they came off the set of America's Most Wanted. Cedar Bluff Plumbing is Basilio tested and approved, and will go the
so we're
extra
still
mile
gonna be
for
on
you
time,
because
so we're
Chucky
good
Mack
there.
is a servant of the people and my consigliere to the throne, celebrating over 32 years of serving living volunteers. Cedar Bluff Plumbing. Call 588-4448. That's 588-4448. Cedar Bluff Plumbing. It's football time all over East Tennessee, and you don't want to cook. So for your next tailgate or football party, let Calhoun's handle the heavy lifting. Visit any of Calhoun's 9 East Tennessee locations on your way to the game and pick up a Calhoun's Feed 5 or Feed 10 family pack. You already know nothing goes better with football than Calhoun's world-famous barbecue. Now you can get the Calhoun's Feed 5 or Feed 10 family pack with amazing barbecue ribs. Calhoun's Feed 5 or Feed 10 family pack is a touchdown in a box. And now with Calhoun's barbecue or ribs. Add the buns, Smoky Mountain baked beans, and creamy coleslaw, and you're winning. Calhoun's even throws in the plates, napkins, and utensils for an easy-to-carry box. And the best part, it's just under $6 per person for the barbecue. Calhoun's Feed 5 or Feed 10 family pack is undefeated. And now with ribs. And brisket available on Wednesdays. Call ahead and order online or from our convenient app, and we'll have it ready and waiting. The Feed 5 and Feed 10 family pack from Calhoun's. One of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants. Calhoun's. Eat local. Eat good. Tony Basilio here from my good friend Marcos Garza and your Garza Law Firm. Pretty jacked up that it's football time in Tennessee. How about you? Well, I still have word of a troubling development and what we can do about it. Because carpetbaggers remain in our area. Out-of-town law firms, carpetbaggers, have been swarming in the East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, Birmingham, they've stormed into our area. You've seen the ads on television. You've heard some of these new ads that are popping up on radio. Let me ask you a question. Wouldn't you rather do business with somebody that's live and local? A local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and my friends at your Garza Law Firm are exactly that. These are your neighbors, your friends, our neighbors and friends. Support local causes year-round. Marcos Garza and the Garza Law Firm, always there for me when I have a need. For Fish Hospitality Pantry, and also our Machi Tailgate, just to name a couple of things. They're live and local. They're one of us. They're of our earth. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries, and accident matters. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at GarzaLaw.com, and they will be for many, many years to come. Live, local,
Thank you.
One of us.
Thank you for
One of
driving like a
you.
human.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Appreciate that.
Basilio for Smoothie King. And look who's showing up at Smoothie King these days. It's TK and TK Jr., the dynamic duo, looking better than ever.
It's great to be here enjoying the delicious, nutritious Smoothie King. Something I have been doing for going on 20 years. Drinking Smoothie King as a meal replacement helps me keep a leg up on duty. I can still take it.
Let the old man grow and make me feel a little better.
Alright, it's too hot for the light. We're just going to turn the camera
Good
on.
nutrition never tasted so good, and it's easy to eat on the move. Just roll to the drive-thru and get your favorite Smoothie King.
Two peas in a pod. That's what you guys are. VFL and SKFL. What a combination. Almost as good as the offerings right here at Smoothie King. Slim, fitness, wellness, and break time blends.
Lean One, Gladiator, and the Hawk are all great sources for your different needs. Greek yogurt, paleo, keto, and peanut power plus. I absolutely love the vegan nutty super grain. Just look at these guns, Junior.
Get over yourself, Pop. Smoothie King is what we're here to talk about. The new metabolism boost smoothies are delicious and keep you going. Coffee smoothies, angel food, and strawberry kiwi free are just a few of the most popular choices on the menu.
Thanks for the Smoothie King love, guys. Let's keep Tommy Boy Marine and his crew blending smoothies on Rocky Top for years to come. Delicious
Damn it,
and
man.
nutritious. The healthy alternative to fast food. Say it with me, Kelly Duo. Smoothie King.
Coming in late.
He's coming in late, isn't he, TK?
Yeah.
What are we going to do with him? Tony Basilio here with former Vol great Mark Griffin. And Mark's here to talk about performance medicine. And Mark's been going to performance medicine now for a few years.
Have you, Mark?
One of the things performance
Oh,
medicine
God.
is help you with your low energy. Part of that was hormone therapy. How has that helped you, Mark?
Well, hormone therapy has actually given my energy back that I had lost in the past. And I just feel like a new person. Tony, as you age, your hormones decline. As they decline, you decline in every way. Performance medicine wants to keep you from declining as you age. Don't decline.
One of the misconceptions, Mark, people have about performance medicine is that hormones is all they do. I know for me, it was nothing of the sort. My vitamin levels were all screwed up, and they got me on a regimen. 3 years later, I feel like a brand new man. Did you experience something similar with them as well?
Tony, I did. It's like I was given a scorecard of the way I was living my life in some of the areas that were deficient. We took a look at the scorecard and said, this is where you need to address the meds you need. This is the lifestyle change you need to make. And I tell you what, it's all turned around as far as how I feel in a short period of time. And I know he can do the same thing for your listeners.
Don't settle for the way you feel. Performance Medicine. Online at performancemedicine.net. Performance Medicine. It's always magnificent. Mondays on the Basilio Show. Presented by our friends at Fleet Tire. I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire. I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. And now, back to B. Don't you miss that train.
99.7 FM. Translator W259AP. Powell, Knoxville.
Don't you miss that train. Don't miss that hype train. Don't miss that party train. Chilio back with you, 865-200-5402.
Never would miss it.
As we welcome you back on the one, the only, it's your Tony Basilio Show on the hype train with you. Without further ado, ladies and germs, let's go back to our busy phones. And we'll get Martin Ball in the mixing in the hunt with Bino, Jeff Henderson, and Tony Basilio. Good afternoon / good morning, Martin Ball.
Tony, I hope you're well. I heard on one of your ads they were doing a Hobby Baez giveaway of some sort at the Smokies game. If you want to see a real Hobby Baez giveaway, go to the Mets game on August 31st.
God, the poor Smokies are doing a Hobby Baez giveaway. That might be the most next level thing I've ever heard.
So, hey, and the last time I remember somebody giving fans like that was a fella named Butch Jones telling our fans where to shove it on the sideline.
You know,
that is a good point.
They must have planned that way before he got traded, and they must not have thought that.
Oh, of course,
yeah,
Brian. What, you think they did it overnight, Brian? Come on now.
Hey, Tony, on the lightning issue.
Yeah.
On the lightning issue.
Yes.
Court's car was hit about a decade or so
Poor
ago.
Brian.
Before the Virginia Tech-Georgia Tech game, he picked Georgia Tech to win the game in College Game Day. It's a Thursday night game. I think it might have been the start of the season. And literally about 5 minutes after he picked it, his car got smoked by a bolt of lightning. So
I remember that. That was classic.
I do remember that, too. That's a good one. So there's an example of a lightning strike during a sporting event. Good one, man.
But that's like one every 25 years.
All the rental cars out at the parking lot.
Knowing how crazy Lee Corso is, has been, he may have had
582. So, folks, believe it or not,
Who knows?
Hell, we've gone like 400 miles without a wreck, but I forget about that idiot that decided to stop before they went to 45, before they dropped 10 miles per hour in the damn speed limit. It's all right. We put them in the median. They're probably still there to this second.
Man, that may be. I mean, that was a big moment. Those Phillips getting that touchdown in the rain, that was.
Yeah, we're gonna lose so much freaking money. Oh my god.
To get off,
we might not even make money this time because the trailer's damaged, the cargo's damaged. Oh man, are we back up over 3?
And I hate to be like that.
Giving ourselves a little cushion, thank goodness.
My God, I'm right there with you. And looking at Nebraska, I look at their, they're not in an area where you can recruit well to, and I'm almost thinking they've got the right. Scott Frost is Mr. Nebraska, but he's just running something that kind of doesn't work for a place that can't get folks. And heck, if I'm them, I'm almost up to Troy Calhoun up in Colorado Springs. They help us out a little bit. Maybe they go back to this option thing. Get the big boys up front. We can get a few guys that can run a 4-4 and see if we can cut it.
I wonder if you could play option football today. What do you think, Brian?
They used to get these fast kids from like California and Texas.
Yeah.
And that's sort of been shut off now with the USC program taking off the way it has. It's harder to do that.
They used to get them out of Texas. They used to get them out of Florida.
They can't really get them to Nebraska.
They used to get them out of New Jersey. Nebraska got what they did is they corn-fed,
you idiot,
steroid-fed kids up front.
Their linemen were all local, pretty much.
Yeah,
or Iowa, surrounding states.
And they had a tremendous walk-on program, so they would have a choice of from 100 kids, and most of those kids were the linemen, and it was a way of life, and then they just
here we go.
Let Solich down. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank
you. It'll be on the very last two, Brian. But thank you, my friend. Good talking to you. It's crazy, though, how much and to what extent
come up here and make an opening statement, and then we will take questions. And
they have lost their way. Here comes Josh Heupel now. Without further ado, hit it.
Hey, great to see
I thought
everybody.
that was a green arrow. Why are there 3 green lights?
Our staff
This one's supposed to be in it. Oh, it's right in front of us. God damn it, man.
Missed you guys over the last couple of days. Not sure what you were doing during the course of the weekend, but we've been at work. Had
we already
3
ran
really
the
good
damn
practices.
thing. Might as well just
guys are
complete it.
mentally, physically in a really good spot. Got to clean some things up here over the next couple of days. But excited to get an opportunity to go play inside Neyland Stadium. For our players and coaches alike, or coaches lots, for most of them, first opportunity to run through the tee and play inside a Neyland Experience ball walk. I know I'm unbelievably excited about those opportunities and traditions, get a chance to live them out in game. I know for our players too, an opportunity that we're back to normal capacity inside Neyland Stadium and a real atmosphere inside of that. And they're excited. We're excited about going out and showing the work that we've put into the last 7.5, 8 months, and being ready to
better be good. God damn it!
I mentioned,
just look flawless against Bowling Green.
Quarterback by game.
You have to look
Joe
flawless.
Milton will be our starting quarterback. Talked to those guys earlier about that. Not naming a backup. Believe in what those guys are ready to do, given the opportunity. They've continued to grow.
I still want like a 3 quarterback system, 2 quarterback system. I don't care. Roll any guy out there. I'm not gonna care.
Believe in the other 2 guys as well, and they've handled.
I mean, hell, it worked for Spurrier one year with Chandler and Palmer. It worked for, I mean, not in the same, like, I guess. Just got 2 guys that are basically the same, roll them out there. But like Tebow's freshman year,
hey Coach, back here, how you doing?
With Chris Leak.
So career-wise, Coach, you've certainly been around the block a couple times, but I'm curious, what are the butterflies this week for you as you head into your first game as head coach and really the beginning of a new era for Tennessee football?
Yeah, it's the first time for us as a program. We get to go play and compete together.
It's still raining.
A lot of things on the practice
It's going to be raining for the next day.
Building, some types of adversity that
sorry.
you try to create. But this is the first
kitty.
opportunity we get to go do it
Yeah,
in a live
she's so
situation
sad.
and find out who we are. It's that point in your training camp, in your build-up, in your program where it's time to go hit somebody with another color and find out, make some mistakes, make a bunch of plays, have fun competing together. How are we going to handle adversity? How are we going to communicate on game day? All of those things. I think we're in a really good spot. I love the group that we're working with right now. I think they're bought into trying to do it the right way. I think every year is a different journey. This is week one of this journey, this season for us. Excited to go kick it off, but certainly, I don't know if butterflies is the right word, more anticipation and excited about the opportunity.
Hey, Coach Heupel, Kellyanne Sitz with WATE TV. What was the deciding factor that set Joe Milton apart from Harrison Bailey and Hendon Hooker as the starting
I
quarterback?
don't think there's just one thing. First of all, I truly mean this, and sometimes coaches get up and just say it, but I really do love that group, man. They've continued to grow. They push each other. They're really positive with each other. Our team and our offensive group sees and feels that energy. All three of them have a positive effect on the offensive group and the team as a whole. They've handled that throughout this entire process, which is really difficult to do. I really believe that all three of them have an opportunity to go play at a really high level, given the opportunity. At the end of the day, felt like Joe, just his grasp over our offense in a short amount of time, the growth during the middle portion of training camp, his acceleration in what we're doing, some physical attributes, decision making, led us to put the ball in his hands here this first ball game.
Looking at 496. Thought I'd be a little closer.
Hey, Josh,
to that.
do you, going into it right now, are you game planning to play two quarterbacks in the opener, or is this something where you just, Joe, let it go, rip it? If you have to, you play
Every game unfolds in a different situation. I told those guys, and I've said it here before, and it's true. It plays out this way. The strength of one position can never be one guy. All of them got to prepare like a starter. Anticipate Joe getting handed the ball first and playing his butt off in a really good way.
Real quick follow-up. What was the reaction from Harrison Bailey and Hendon Hooker with the announcements?
Both of them have handled it in a really positive way. I know that they know that we believe in them. And I think that's a big part of being able to handle that information. They've continued to get opportunities to
Don't lie to us, hype.
Believe in who they are and what they do in their future here.
Coach, you talk about being ready to hit somebody else. What were you like as a player in that as training camp kind of rolled on and you get into that point?
Oh my goodness, Cat. Okay, folks.
Do you take
We'll be right
anything,
back.
being a former player at that level, in how you structure, this team, getting them ready, balancing that we got to get ready, but we also don't want to continue just to grind on ourselves?
Absolutely. I think you want to look at what your finished product, your end product on game day, how you want to play. You want to be the freshest, fastest, most excited, most physical football team on the field. How do you rewind that? You got to take care of them in a way where they are physically able to go compete at that level and play fast and physical. But you have to continue to sharpen yourself as you go through the season. That's true during the course of training camp. From this game week to what we do, which is pretty much systematic each week. As you go deeper into the season, we pull back a little bit on the number of reps to how we go through training camp. I think there's a science out there that we try to understand from our strength and conditioning staff to get them to be their best. We understand on the football side of it what we need to do to get them there. I think our kids feel really good about where they're at mentally, physically, and emotionally to go play their best football here on Thursday night.
David and Adam over here to the right.
All right.
She
Josh,
has
when
seen
did you
that
sort of
it's
have the
still
realization that
raining.
Joe's
She's
not
gonna be your
happy,
guy,
so
and
I'm sure she'll
sort of
start
what
again.
was the tipping point there?
He's practiced with the one group here
Cats,
for
man. Good Lord.
I don't know, probably the last 7 to 10 days, somewhere in that. I think we came
Speeding?
out of a second scrimmage and felt like
Oh my
he had
God! Right when
taken
it
some positive
changed.
steps in a shorter amount of time. As far as time on task, some of the other guys being here through spring continued to break up those reps pretty much evenly. Joe got a majority with the first team offense there for the last part of training camp and here into this game week.
Keep right.
Adam Sparks, Knox News. Josh, in your offense, do you expect a quarterback to make a lot of difference-making plays or just run the offense? What's the balance of those two roles?
first of all, being a sound decision maker, right, and getting it into playmakers' hands is extremely important. There's a lot more on them in the tempo that we play with as far as protections, run checks, and pass to run or run to pass checks. There's a lot on their plate that they got to be able to process extremely quickly. That position is about extending and making plays, and sometimes that's turning a negative into a zero, not just a big play that shows up on the stat sheet that everybody in the stadium can see too. All three of those guys have shown that ability. Joe certainly has the ability to do that with his feet, escaping some quarterback run game that Henry can provide, and Harrison can at times as well. But his ability to extend plays and broken plays turn into big plays is a part of who we have to be too.
Hey, Coach, we spoke to Peyton Manning last week, and he said he had spoken to Joe Milton just kind of about, the offense moving forward. Did Milton share any of that conversation with you about what those two spoke about?
He did not, no. I think Peyton's, spoken with most of the guys that have been on campus here at some point, during his previous stop in early part of summer too.
Coach, two things. Number one, what can you tell us about Bowling Green? And two, how much pride do you take in the teaching aspect of coaching?
Coaching is teaching. It's just another word for it. From what you do in the classroom to what you do in life to your experiences on the football field, that's simply what it is. Great coaches take a lot of great pride in being teachers, right? If you go out on the practice field and you just hear a bunch of yelling and screaming, what's really inside of that message, right? The guys inside of our locker room.
Oh boy, the rest of the show is going to be like, that's a really great point. What have we been talking about? Please don't bite, Tony. Don't bite on it. Talk more about Milton getting the starting job, please, please.
They can accept it, understand it, and then go do it. But in this game, it's important to speak from passion, not emotion. And I think that's something that we talk about as a coaching staff quite a bit.
Josh, how comfortable are you with your defense going into your opener?
Excited about that group. You guys have heard me talk about it. When we finished up spring, that was a really thin unit. Hit hard by the transfer portal. In respects or in timing, a lot of it before I had even gotten here. Adding the transfers that we added, experience in some for a portion of them, some youth, guys that have multiple years here as well, depth, experience, right culture pieces as well. I think that was a huge part of the hit, or being able to hit on those guys in May that has helped our defense. But the other part of it is just the way our kids that have been here since January, February have really grown inside of each of their position rooms. I look at the linebacker group. It's a completely different meeting room than it was when we were here in spring ball. And some of the guys that came back from injury, but just their growth as individuals, human beings, and then an understanding of what we're doing. Adding some young pieces in the secondary with a couple of transfers.
But the growth is ball players, Coach.
The defensive line position. There's great competition. You have to strain every single day. Every rep counts. There's pressure on you to go perform at a really high level. You got great coaches on that side of the ball. They're very cohesive. There's a great understanding of what we're doing defensively. Excited to go watch these guys play on Thursday night. I really am. They through training camp, we always pull clips every night when we go into our team meeting of guys playing with great effort and strain. We use the word attack inside of our team meeting room, and that group, there's orange jerseys flying around every single day. It's been fun to watch.
Josh, you spoke earlier about maybe finding that balance between guys making right decisions at quarterback versus making some big plays and generating some of those things. How much has that maybe changed in an era where football games have gone from 20, 25 points to a lot of 40-point games? It just seems like it's a different game these days.
Certainly the game's being played differently than it was 15 years ago, 10 years ago. part of that's just guys spreading the field and putting people in more one-on-one situations in space. You make one guy miss, it turns into a much bigger play than if you're just playing inside the box in 22 or 12 personnel. The quarterback position, the decision-making is a must, right? And guys that make consistent bad decisions are ultimately going to get you beat. So, yes, you got to be a great decision-maker. Yes, we want you to extend and make some big plays too, but those plays present themselves. The first thing is learning how not to get you beat. And that doesn't mean you pull the reins back on kids, but learning and giving them opportunities to grow in how to extend and make plays inside of the play. The quarterback position, the biggest part of it's being a distributor of the ball. You got to be a great decision maker. I mentioned in the run game, in the pass game.
Finally wanted to go
put the ball in the right player's hands at the right time.
Two things, Josh. Have you decided which coaches will be on the sideline and which will be up in the press box, and how does that look? And then two, what can you tell us about Bowling Green?
Coaches up in the press box. There's guys all over the place.
Did he not answer Rick's?
Our coordinators will be up on the offense and defense side of the ball. Offensively, Joey Halsley will be up as well. As far as full-time guys, defensively, most of our full-time guys will be down.
Come on, dude! Why are you stopping, you fucking idiot?
I think you watched.
God damn it!
A year ago. It's a program that got a late start. There was some time off for them.
Fucking way, you idiot.
In the middle portion of the season, only got a 5-game schedule out of it. I think athletically you'll see a different group.
Driving to damn Kenworth like a moron. You gotta take that truck away from you.
Being in better shape.
Freaking idiot.
Play harder for longer. Offensively for them, they're heavy 12 personnel. They have some athletic tight ends that they're able to create matchups with in the pass game.
Jesus.
You got to do a great job of being gapped out and handling the misdirection.
Go bankrupt after
the
this.
Counter plays. You got to be able to fit things extremely well, and then we got to play up the field and create some distortion and play on the other side of the line of scrimmage with our front as well. But you got to handle the play action pass too. Offensively, multiple in their fronts, 4 down, 3 down, mirage of coverages on the back end of it. I've had a couple of transfers that I assume are going to play for them, and one in the secondary, one on the edge, that are solid football players too. And so, new coordinator, right? He was there a year ago as their corners coach, I believe. But he'll go back to calling. He's called it previously at other stops. Be interesting to see just how different they are on that side of the football, and they got to be able to adjust. Big part of early football games too, and you guys have seen it. A couple games that have been played. It's just special teams and penalties here early in the season. And, we got to play penalty free, and then special teams got to do a great job of playing with great technique and understand their assignment. All 3 phases got to adjust. Week 1, you got to expect the unexpected and be ready to adjust and be able to communicate well from the sidelines.
Coach Al, I start with the Associated Press. What's your comfort level with your team's COVID situation compared to the start of camp?
Yeah, this is an allergy cough, not a COVID cough. Okay. All right. I feel good about what we're doing. Our vaccination rate has continued to climb. We're above 80% at this point. Our kids have been really good inside of the building. Obviously,
sleep and fill up.
What we've had to do protocol-wise has changed here during the course of training camp. Mask required now in all of our meeting rooms. Kids have accepted it and done a really good job with it.
Just with fall camp now in the books, do you feel like you have a good grasp of what you think is going to show up on the field on Thursday, or are there still some things that you kind of want to learn about your team, or some things you'll be looking forward to learning about your team?
I like a lot of things that we see on the practice field. As a coach, you're never completely satisfied. Good football teams continue to grow every single week, and someone asked a question earlier about managing the practice load that you put on your players versus having them prepared for game day, physically healthy. Like, you got to balance those two things, but you got to do good on good during the course of the week to continue to sharpen yourself, and we do that when we're in our helmet and shoulder pad practices during the course of the week.
We're literally going to get 0.
We're at the point now, though, where you got to go out and play, and it ain't going to be perfect. This is not a game of perfection at any position for 60 minutes. How we handle those adverse situations will be a huge part of how our season unfolds. We've talked a lot about that with our team. You try to create adverse situations and teaching moments to be able to talk about those things. But it's time for us to go play, and we're going to see how we handle it on Thursday night.
Josh, when you look at the linebacker group, Jeremy Banks, Juwan Mitchell, those two guys right there, have they taken a step in the last 2 to 3 weeks, being those leaders that you're going to need on the field, especially getting the signals in, getting these guys lined up? How would you assess that linebacker group, especially with those two?
The group as a whole has continued to grow. Those two guys have grown a bunch. Jeremy obviously not having any time on the field with our coaching staff, being banged up, coming back off of surgery during the spring. Juwan being new in June, getting in here, having to learn a defense. Obviously, all of his experiences in the different defenses that he played translate over, but the verbiage, terminology is different. Getting synchronized in that's really important. Both of those players in particular play extremely hard. I mean, their speed, their athleticism shows up.
Oh
their
man,
effort,
this
their
has been the
strength
delivery
shows up.
from hell.
The rest of that group does as well, not to discount the other guys that are in that. I think you'll see multiple guys play at that position. Those two guys are going to play a lot of football and play at a really high level for us.
Coach, how would you describe the health of this team? And obviously some bumps and bruises through fall camp, but you feel like you're pretty healthy heading into Thursday?
Really are at this point. Really feel like really pretty much everybody's going to be available. Kayron obviously with his injury early in training camp won't be available, but pretty much everybody else is going to be ready to go roll on Thursday night. Excited to go see these guys compete. It's going to be a lot of fun. Guys, appreciate it.
There you go, a little Josh Heupel for you. 865-200-5402. In case you're just joining us, we're going to break down some interesting things he had to say. Most interesting is what they're going to do at the quarterback situation. And I called what they were going to do with the backup. They're trying to keep the wheels on Harrison Bailey, who's third team right now. But they're trying to keep the wheels on him, and it is what it is. I'm going to get Bino's thoughts on what we just heard, because that's really the big story is this guy's got an offense that's driven by quarterback play, and they've named a starter. They've named a starter, which is something that his offensive coordinator didn't want to do, but something that he did, and I think that's pretty interesting. This is Josh Heupel's football team, and they named a starter. We'll talk about it. I want to get your thoughts. We are a couple and a half days out. Hard to believe we're here. Here we are. We'll do it on the other side at your Tony Basilio show. We are breaking it down scientifically with you on a Monday. More of Bino, myself, Bry, the gang, the group. We'll take your phone calls. Full bank of calls. Stay right there. We'll be with you after this.
Spread the word and get the app at TonyBasilio.com for Android and iPhones.
It's football time all over East Tennessee, and you don't want to cook. So for your next tailgate or football party, let Calhoun's handle the heavy lifting. Visit any of Calhoun's 9 East Tennessee locations on your way to the game and pick up a Calhoun's Feed 5 or Feed 10 family pack. You already know nothing goes better with football than Calhoun's world-famous barbecue. Now you can get the Calhoun's Feed 5 or Feed 10 family pack with amazing barbecue ribs. Calhoun's Feed 5
Why are we
or
not
Feed 10
going
family
anywhere?
pack is a touchdown in a box. And now with
Stop taking
Calhoun's
these
barbecue
state highways.
or
We're
ribs,
interstate only.
add the buns, Smoky Mountain baked
Send
beans,
out a
and
memo.
creamy coleslaw, and you're winning. Calhoun's even throws in the plates, napkins, and utensils for an easy-to-carry box. And the best part, it's just under $6 per person for the barbecue. Calhoun's Feed 5 or Feed 10 family pack is undefeated, and now with ribs. And brisket available on Wednesdays. Call ahead and order online or from our convenient app, and we'll have it ready and waiting. The Feed 5 and Feed 10 family pack from Calhoun's. One of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, Calhoun's. Eat local. Eat good.
Daylight now. We'll go ahead and
Your Tony Basilio radio family is so excited about the Josh Heupel era at Tennessee that we've decided to celebrate by staying up all night. What more would you expect from the show of record in volunteer country? Our entire cast and crew is on deck, bringing in the new era with a special all-night marathon edition of Garza Law Tennessee football, fifth quarter, immediately following Tennessee and Bowling Green.
Right.
As soon as Tennessee and Bowling Green goes final, we're up all night celebrating the rebirth of Tennessee football with you. So stay with us all night until the following day's Tony Basilio show.
Go ahead and comment down below.
No holds or
how much
callers
money
will be barred. Thursday,
you think
September
we will
2nd,
make
into
and
Friday,
or have
September
to pay
3rd. Stay up with us.
when
We celebrate a new
shit.
era of Tennessee
Oh my
football.
God.
Tennessee football up all night, presented
it's
by
going to be
Marcus
late
Garza and your Garza Law
by
firm.
at
Online,
least.
GarzaLaw.com. Smoothie King. Do something
Still
great
got
for
5.5
yourself at
hours
Smoothie
to go,
King.
and we're
Performance
already
medicine. Perform your best with
an hour and a
performance
half
medicine.
late.
Miller Lite and Alumni Hall. And the best on-air team in America. On the
7 hours
best
late.
post-game show ever heard. Serving the greatest fan base on God's
27%
green
damage
earth.
to the fruit
Another
juice. I don't
Tennessee
know how
football
we
season. After the Bowling
damage
Green
fruit
game,
juice,
it's
but
Tennessee.
we turned some of it into wine.
Everyone's
Something, I don't know, 44% damage to the trailer, which is an hour.
With the changes, whether you're moving your office,
We're not going to make
rearranging,
any
or
money.
setting
I think
up
we're
a
going to have
new
to pay.
office at home,
I
or
think we
wherever,
are going to have to
OFO
pay
has what you need. New
these people
and
for bringing
used
them this
options
shit.
in stock,
That's
ready
my
to go.
that's
Desks,
my
sit-to-stand desks, numerous desk chair options, bookcases, you name it, here and ready for you to pick up or delivered right to you. Check out the in-stock options on their website at ofonox.com or click the link at tonybasilio.com for more. If they don't have what you're looking for, OFO can usually find it very quickly. It's never been easier to outfit your office. And don't forget, Office
That's
Furniture
one thing I
Outfitters is
just
still
realized.
your
We're gonna have to
local
stop
Herman
at a
Miller
race station.
dealer. Aeron chairs in stock. Feel the comfort.
Thank you.
No job too big or too small.
Sure,
And they
we've
can
definitely
come
got
to
a
you,
fine for
measure your
that.
space, deliver right to you, and set everything up. Or we
We
can
are
work
sitting
with
at
you remotely, live and local for over 25 years.
$3,109,315.
Office Furniture Outfitters. Call
Handy dandy
524-3003 or
ragtag
visit
group of
ofonox.com. Office Furniture Outfitters.
300 miles to
Basilio
go,
here
baby.
for Knoxville Real Estate Group, a part of Realty Executives. If you're looking to make a
Tanja.
move now or 6 months from now, you need a good strategy. Whether you're in the first quarter or fourth quarter, you don't want to be stuck having to throw a Hail Mary. Knoxville Real Estate Group can put together a winning plan for you. We're joined by our coaching staff, Shay Bain, Tanja Doty, and Steve Doty. Who's the head coach here?
I don't know, Tony. First of all,
It's Tanya.
and she likes to call all the plays.
Shay, what do you got to say?
Well, the bottom line is the head coach is really our client, because whether you're buying or selling a house, you're making the call. Knoxville Real Estate Group is here to coach you through the experience to maximize your investment on both ends of the deal.
How about it, Tanja?
It's Tanya, and we love winning games for our clients. Knoxville Real Estate Group, we've been doing that for over 15 years.
Yeah,
No
Tanya.
one's dropping the ball on our team.
You tell them, Tanja.
The bottom line is we're homeowners just like you. We're part of this community.
Pick up
We are
the
home
phone.
When we see you around town, we want to see you with that winning smile.
So who's the offensive coordinator here?
Look, Tony, the
Pick
important thing is rates are terrific.
the
so you can buy more house for your money. It's
phone.
easier than you think to buy or sell a house right now.
Right, and we stay on top of the market, put together a game day strategy, and are always ready to make adjustments to give our clients the offensive advantage.
For a home team victory, Knoxville Real Estate Group is the winning call. Online at knoxvillerealestategroup.com. See the link at tonybasilio.com. Life never stops moving. And between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up. A tire designed for doers. A tire that's going to last. Like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
It's electric.
TV here for Advent Electric. It's electric. Advent Electric, among the Southeast premier residential and commercial electrical contractors for over 20 years. You'll recognize our work for places like Neyland Stadium and Thompson Bowling Arena, Knoxville Convention Center, and the Sun Sphere. From wiring a downtown high-rise to installing a new fixture at your family's home, at Advent Electric, no job is too big or too small. Homeowners, is your electric bill through the roof?
No time to roll our windows down.
Show you the latest trends in lighting and LED fixtures that'll make your home more energy efficient, keeping your hard-earned money in your pocket. If you're an electrician, we're always looking for quality individuals to join our team, including competitive pay and benefits. And business owners and managers, let Advent's facility maintenance team help you with all your ongoing maintenance issues. With 24-hour service, we can keep your business up and running with one service call. Serving East Tennessee and the Nashville area. 865-588-0631. Online at adventelectric.com. Tell them Bacilio sent you. Advent Electric. It's electric. Advent Electric. Stover's Liquidation knows that the cost of materials to build or remodel a home has gone up. But our prices are low at Stover's Liquidation. Great prices every day. Luxury vinyl plank starting at just 69 cents per square foot. Pre-finished hardwood flooring starting at just $129 per square foot. Appliances 40% less than you pay at the big box store. Just in, beautiful 3/4 by 6
Go ahead and re-comment down below.
Several great colors. Get it before it's gone. Come shop us in Oak Ridge or online anytime at
Fuck, man! What the fuck?
It's always
I just looked beside, looked back. Oh, by the way,
our friends at Fleet Tire. I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire. I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. And now, back to B. T to the B back with you, 865-200-5402. Tennessee's hoping that some bombs will be thrown in Neyland Stadium Thursday night. This guy's offense, this guy loves to throw the ball long, threw more long balls, as Matt Dixon indicated, than anybody in college football last year, and they hope to Florida's going to get it. Florida's going to get it. We're going to go to the phones.
No,
I do this with the greatest of ease, G. Don't try this at home. Whatever we say on here can and will be used against you in a court of law. Bino, Jeff Henderson, before we go to the phones, and I grab Farmer Charlie, who joins First Factual and Furious. Bino, Jeff Henderson, your thoughts on the way that Josh Heupel stood up there before the Depressed and said, "This is my quarterback," and then he bracketed the two guys because he wants to keep the wheels on the kid from Georgia. Your thoughts, Bino?
I think we're getting close to football season, Tony. It took absolutely no time for me to make my first inaccurate prediction of the season. I'm actually pleased because it tells me that Joe Milton actually separated himself from the other two. I will stick by my original premise that we'll know who our entrenched quarterback is by who starts against Florida. I hope and believe, barring injury, that will be Joe Milton. But I still believe the first three games
I wonder if it would cost less to just cancel the delivery
for who's going to be the quarterback
than to actually deliver. No.
What'd you make of
And
the
I know how important the Pitt game is. They're going to want to win that football game, but that's still part of the dress rehearsal.
And then the way they bracketed the two guys behind him, any surprise there?
I don't think so, because you've got one guy, well, basically that's two guys that they did not bring in. One that showed up out of nowhere, and another that was highly recruited, that I'm sure they believe has some upside too, and they don't want that quarterback room to get any thinner.
Let's go to the phones, and let's get Charlie in here.
Charlie?
Hello, Charlie. Welcome in.
Hey, what's going on, Tom?
Hey, C. Good to talk to you on a Monday, brother.
Good to hear from Charlie.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, baby.
I watched that Nebraska ball game, and it was hard for me to watch.
Basketball.
It reminded me a lot of Tennessee football because the quarterback, because I like Nebraska, and I've kind of watched them, and it just seems to me that Martinez as quarterback, who hadn't got that much better as he's played. And that surprised me with Scott Frost being his head coach. And I think that we have a coach that our quarterback will get better as the year goes along. And really, that's my goal. You know, whenever we take our predictions, mine's pretty low. You know, if we have a 500 season, I'll be tickled to death with it. But really, what I'd really like to see, Tone, is I'd really like to see whoever our quarterback is, you know, Joe Milton, if he's the guy, you know, that's going to play the most of the season. I'd like to see him play better at the end of the year than he did the first.
Let's progress with this deal, in other words, which I think that's I think it's a great way, Charlie, of looking at the upcoming season. The thought being, let's turn this season into something by the end of the year we can all be proud of. I don't think there's anything wrong with that being the expectation. Bino, I echo him. My season's not so much about numbers, but being fun to watch. And if you can pick somebody off along the way you're not supposed to beat, then, you know, so be it. That'd be great. I'm with Charlie, Beanstar.
And I am as well. And Charlie, I just have a lot more faith in this coaching staff, putting the right guy out there and developing guys as we go along. I have more faith, and I think they're more on the same page than any of the Pruitt staffs were. From the head coach to the offensive coordinator to the quarterback coach.
You think so, Bino? I think you and I would be on the same page better than those guys would.
No question.
Tony,
sir.
I think as far as Harrison Bailey goes, I look at quarterback. If I was him, you know, and this whole deal about we got to keep him here, I kind of, that gets on my nerves a little bit, because I think we got a top-notch quarterback coach. I mean, a top-notch offense. You know, I think we're in the ideal spot for a quarterback to get better, to improve.
Yes, I agree.
And I think Florida might have a better, you know, you can't argue with Dan Mullen's success, but Dan Mullen would get him killed, because he doesn't change his offense. You know, he's going to find a quarterback that'll run. And I've seen lots of his quarterbacks get hurt as the years go on. And then you've got Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss. And then who else is there? Now the Jones kid in Alabama, from the time he went in, whenever we hurt Tua, whatever, whenever we hurt that quarterback, he improved tremendously. But I don't know if that coach is still there. And then Harrison Bailey wouldn't sniff a field at Alabama. So really, I think Harrison Bailey is in a good spot. If I was him, I'd sit back and take some coaching and stay, because I don't think his decision making with those idiots we had coaching. I understand why people like Harrison Bailey.
Yes.
You know, he played smart, dumped the ball off.
A lot to like. Yep.
And but I don't necessarily want him thrown out there in a new offense. I mean, I don't have a problem with him not starting. I'm not a big Harrison Bailey fanboy, but I think he's a decent quarterback, and I think if he stuck around, he could be a real good quarterback. What do y'all think?
I agree with that. Look, to me, we all miss the point on Bailey. People love that whole thing about the numbers and your recruiting ranking. It doesn't matter. What he did in high school doesn't matter. People don't want to hear that. He wasn't going to start this year. He was never going to start this year. they brought Joe Milton in as the great Davey Ubby said, and he's right, with the Athletic, you don't go get a guy unless you plan on starting him. And Bino's got a great point. That he won the job so decisively that they would stand up there today and name him the starter is a good sign. Every Vol fan, even the ones that were rooting for Harrison Bailey to get the job, should take today as a positive sign. Like you say, the Harrison Bailey fanboys. Today's a good day for Tennessee that Josh Heupel would stand up there and do that. And what Harrison Bailey does from here, look, I think they bracketed him with Milton to keep him happy for now.
Obviously.
But if he were smart, he would take this year and stay plugged in with the understanding that at some point this year, behind that offensive line, you're probably going to get an opportunity to play. So you better be ready when the time comes. And don't leave from a place where a guy has a track record of developing players. Look at what happened at Central Florida. They had years where they played 3 and 4 guys. And the guys all went in there and all played well for him, essentially, down his roster. So this guy knows what he's doing with quarterbacks. I mean, Beanstar, you agree with that, don't you? And you're Bino kind of borders on that, Charlie's. Bino wears the Harrison Bailey underwear at night.
Yeah, Charlie, I don't know. I don't know that this is a great fit for Harrison Bailey. I think Harrison Bailey is going to be a good college quarterback. What I don't know.
Not in the SEC, please.
Modern day, I get with the COVID and the extra years and yada yada yada, I get mixed up. But I think Harrison Bailey has 4 years left to play.
He does.
And Milton has 3 years left to play. If Milton is firmly entrenched at quarterback at the end of this year, Harrison Bailey would be a rare, highly recruited guy that sticks around for the backup role.
Yeah, and what was funny, right?
97,
and meeting people.
28.
What's Peyton Manning's opinion? Who cares? I mean, really? Like, who cares what Peyton Manning's opinion is of the other guys? I didn't know. Was Peyton Manning coaching a team? I mean, what kind of a question is that? Whoever asked that question. Let me help you out. Josh Heupel didn't want to say this. Who cares? I mean, I'm glad he was popping for a guy that went to his camp, and that's all well and good, and that's good. That's fine. Hey, Harrison Bailey came to my camp, and he really threw the ball well. That's great. Unfortunately, Peyton, you're not the coach, you're not the coordinator, and you don't get a vote. Unfortunately. Go ahead, Charlie.
Nebraska. Do you think some of these coaches get enamored with athletic ability? And I don't see how Scott Frost's been there, 4 years? And Adrian Martinez has been his quarterback for 4 years, hasn't he?
That's right.
I don't understand why he hadn't. I mean, Harrison Bailey could have hit that tight end in the end zone. You know, I don't understand why he has not found a quarterback that is more consistent. Other than he's amazed at what Martinez can do athletically. And I wonder if that's not, if some coaches don't get caught up in that. Whereas before, those old school coaches hate turning the ball
I'm late.
over so
You'll
much.
never believe what
that
happened.
after he fumbled that time, he wouldn't be in the
All right.
game.
Moment of truth.
Do you think some coaches get enamored by talent? And I mean, Scott Frost's going to get fired.
Yes, he is.
And one more thing on the Nebraska. Do you think that anybody could do any better with Nebraska as long as they're in that crazy conference? And I mean, who wants to play? I mean, I don't know how good Nebraska can be anymore. And I'll get off here. Good show, guys. Oh, one more thing about Florida, the call of Florida.
Yeah, Florida.
I
What's
hear
up?
him wanting to be the best new caller of the year. And you know, Brian don't want to tell him, but I'll tell him. To be the man, you gotta beat the man, and that ain't happening, Jack. Go big on.
Florida's got to deal with that. Florida has to deal with the fact that he's afraid. Let's go back to the phones. Jake from Memphis.
Tony, I think coaches get caught up. I think where they really get caught up too much is in practice performance. And I know that there's a lot more of that than there is game. But at some point, you have to forget who's the most consistent in practice if they can't do it when the lights are on.
Damn.
Why? That's exactly right. And what is Scott Frost doing with Adrian Martinez as his quarterback for 4 straight years? What was Jeremy Pruitt doing with Gitmo as a starting quarterback for 3 consecutive years? Like, what are these guys doing? It's such a great point. You know, Pruitt doing it is one thing because he's kind of a arrogant bammer who didn't care about offense, like a modern-day Buddy Ryan, if you will. Those of you who follow NFL football, but of course he was a Buddy Ryan without a defense. But you know, it's another story for another day. Tennessee on the depth chart is listed as follows. I hate to say I told you so, but I kind of been calling this for about 3 weeks now. Joe Milton, number 1. And then they have them listed alphabetically. Harrison Bailey, Hendon Hooker, and they have an or between them. See, on this show, here's what we do. We get up every day. We call balls and strikes.
That'd be pretty cool.
And you know the guy behind the plate,
1,300 miles.
Joe West,
right. Last
who's at
one
the
of
end
the
of his
night.
rope, but one of the best in the game, and has
the
been,
home
even
stretch,
though he's kind of a horse's arse. Or you're Angel Martinez. No offense to the Martinez surname, or CB Bucknor. Whether you're very good at it or horrendous at it, as those 2 aforementioned umpires are, you still have to call balls and strikes, and people aren't happy when you're calling balls and strikes. But, you know, have you ever seen a game where you're really happy with the home plate umpire? Nobody likes the guy calling balls and strikes. I just call them on this show. We all do. We get up every day, and we have one mission: serve you, serve our community, and call it right down the middle. Balls and strikes. And I've been telling you for weeks that chart is going to say or between those 2 quarterbacks. You heard that coach today choosing his words carefully. The express purpose is to keep Bailey, keep the wheels on him, and they got to do that. Other positions: Jacob Warren or Princeton fan at tight end. Darnell Wright, your starting left tackle. Starting left guard, Jerome Carvin. With Jackson Lampley, or I'll let Bino worry about that last name because I'm terrible at that kid's name. That's an or situation. Cooper Mays is your center, backed up by the great Ollie Lane. Bow thy head. Or Parker Ball. Spraggins is the right guard, backed up by Kingston Harris, who might have one of the great names in college football. Kingston Harris, that's a great name. Cade Mays sort of out of position at right tackle, backed up by Dane Davis, another great name. Wide receiver Velus Jones or Javonte Payton. So the newcomers pushing Velus Jones Jr. It isn't very many times, Bino, that you'll go to SEC Media Day with your team and be bracketed with a guy coming out of camp. I bet that doesn't happen much here, Beanstar. I bet that hadn't happened much at all. But Velus Jones Jr. is bracketed. Jalen Hyatt is your starting slot receiver, backed up by Walker Merrill or Jimmy Callaway. And the other wideout is Cedric Tillman, backed up by Anderson Kobe. At running back, Tyon Evans or Jabari Small. And Jalen Wright is listed as third team. It is interesting that on Tennessee's offensive roster, there are 6 guys who have graduated on the offensive side. And on the defensive side, on their 2 deep depth chart, there are 4 guys who are already graduates. So let's go to the phones. Let's get Jake in Memphis. And we are heading for an extra time overtime today. As Josh Heupel met the depressed, and he shared with the depressed that the starting quarterback is Joe Milton. Hello and welcome in to Jake in Memphis. Welcome in.
Right.
Happy game week, guys.
Happy game week to you, brother.
I was personally really excited to see Elijah Simmons as a starter on the D-line. We need him to step up in a big way. And that was the first kind of everything. There's a lot of talk, it seemed like, but him starting the D tackle was a bit of a surprise, but a much needed surprise. Tony, a couple things. Number one, on your advertising for the Up All Night Starts Up Florida time that y'all are doing, you say during your advertising, you say that we're going to celebrate the rebirth of Tennessee football. Was that hyperbolic, or
no?
Is that you believe that this is the true rebirth of Tennessee football?
Yes. I don't say things for effect.
Yes, you do, Tony.
Well, I'm not quick to stand beside Marcus Columbus on much of anything, but y'all tease him all the time for saying the program's dead. And if you're saying this is the rebirth of Tennessee football, then you're kind of admitting that the program is dead.
Actually, let's go down here.
But if the program didn't flatline under Jeremy Pruitt, what do you call it? The problem with Mark Columbus is Mark in Columbus continues to go out of his way, like Bino said, to go to the funeral, to go, what are you people doing here? This guy's dead. And then he goes to the graveside and he screams at the guy, "You're dead. You're dead." How's he say it, Bri? How's Mark Columbus say those, Matt? Dead. He's dead. I mean, what? That little PR rhymes with Rick called earlier and was just such a rain cloud. Well, here you are. Happy game week, guys. That's what we should be saying. Happy. Not that I want to put words in Columbus' mouth. I mean, but the guy's a clown.
Right. Yeah, that was probably the worst first call you could have on game week.
Yes.
Tony, the second thing, did we start kind of a new trend now with how to get rid of unwanted coaches? Because you can just see it coming a mile away that this is how Nebraska's going to get rid of Ross. I mean, a $20 million buyout. I mean, they're going to pin this NCAA
exactly what they're doing.
Just to get them out. And is that the right approach? Because it kind of seems like it worked for us.
It worked for us, and it's going to work for them. What they're going to do eventually with Pruitt is they're going to mitigate. They're going to give him some sort of buyout, and the reason they're going to have to is he's going to take him to court. And if Tennessee ends up in court and the judge looks at them and goes, "Now wait a second here, you paid his AD, but you're not paying him," ain't going to work. So they're going to pay him something, let him go away, probably be a few $1 million. Let him go away, and eventually Pruitt will be back in high school coaching because he's kind of a joke.
Teaching 10-year-olds to tie shoes.
Yeah,
more likely.
He's a joke.
I just think it's interesting that, I mean, obviously it was all a bit of an unknown for us. We weren't sure if we were making the right decision. We were mocked by a lot of people for doing it that way because it was very clear what was going on. We totally got rid of
Morgan.
Not because of the NCAA investigation, but we pinned it on him because of that.
Yep.
And we were mocked for it. And now it's working out in our favor. I think it might be a bit of a trend. But yeah, I appreciate the time, guys.
Morgan.
Go Vols. Let's get the football.
Love you, brother. Go Vols. Back to you. By the way, I'm going to give out a cadoose. Steve tells us, and Steve, thank you for this, that NASCAR had at Pocono a spectator killed and several injured by lightning a few years ago, Beanstar. So there's one.
Oh, dang.
Okay.
And that would make sense at one of those NASCAR tracks where there's all those metal bleachers.
Well, that's why.
It's raining,
That's
of
why.
course.
Maybe that's what happened.
Yeah.
And
Appreciate
college
the correction.
stadiums are not, they're metal and not much chairback.
Yes, they are, Brian. They're pure metal.
Where is a...
But here's the deal, right? We were talking about this off the top, in case you're wondering what we're discussing, because last night the Lady Vols had a half-hour rain delay. And I just try to keep it real, right? There wasn't rain in our area for a couple 100 miles. And so, but they've got this thing about 7 square miles. If you do the math on 7 square miles, mileage-wise, that adds up to a lot of miles pretty quickly. I believe that their lightning policy is too onerous, and I don't understand where they came up with that formula.
The first home game in Jeremy Pruitt's era was lightning delayed without any clouds around.
Yep.
And it was a couple hours. It was bad.
And where was that?
That was
here?
the ETSU game. The first
right.
first home game of his
That's right.
tenure, forgettable tenure, was a lightning delay, which should have been a sign.
And I've forgotten that. The West Virginia
The very
game.
first game of his tenure
Yep.
in Charlotte, I was there. There wasn't any hint of rain, and they're lucky that they didn't kill 1,000 people trying to protect someone from something we can't find has ever happened at a football game, by running them out in a concourse for 45 minutes when it was 100 degrees out there.
Go to the phones.
It's stupid.
Stupid.
I mean, if there's
Dang, Bino.
obviously a storm that's over the top of you, that's one thing. Like Marshall, the year that my car went underwater down there at Tyson Park. It's complete. Tony, I believe when you figure it out,
All right.
if there's a lightning strike basically within a 200-mile radius, 200 square miles, I think, is what it works out to when you put the formula in there. Well, you're never going to have a football game in September that you can play through with that restriction.
Back to the phones we go. And again, I'm not trying to be
We got...
glib about it, but I did ask earlier, when's there examples of people getting struck? And somebody brought up Lee Corso's car getting fried, which I think he probably had a gas can in the back. If he didn't have a gas can sitting on it. Maybe knowing Lee Corso, it's a car he wanted to get rid of, so he just threw gas on it.
Right.
And then the thing at Pocono, which obviously we're not making light of, but lightning hit there. I'm telling you, I was in Philadelphia at a game, and there was lightning all around that place. People were just acting like nothing's going on. I'm averse to lightning. I have like a lightning fear. Bino, how are you with lightning? I just don't like lightning. It freaks me out how powerful it is.
I mean, yeah, Tony. If lightning's visible, I want off the field. I certainly don't want to be standing up there with a metal bat.
Right.
I'll let metal around me in a softball complex when it's lightning. But I don't want to be waiting for 30 minutes in Dalton because there's lightning in Chattanooga.
Well, and then you take the other side of that. You see these idiots that stay on the golf course when there's lightning in the area. I mean, you got to be literally a living brain donor, or you're about to be a brain donor.
Totally different. Freddie sent me some info. He resent me something that he sent me in 2019, and this was more talking about late season lightning delays. And the information comes from NOAA, who keeps that type of stuff, those type of stats. But Freddie says, looks to me like for a 10-year stretch between 2008 and 2017, there were 0 November lightning deaths in all of America. In fact, on average, there's 1 death per year during the October to December time period. Now, September's a different animal than that, but October through December. And he found a story of a guy that was sitting in the upper deck at the WVU Marshall game in early September of 2011 that got hit by lightning. And in 2011, they weren't going to call off the WVU Marshall game for the rapture. It's kind of apples and oranges when you're talking about football games.
That's why I'd wait until October or later to go to a game for that reason.
What about the Pocono race, Bino? Where's that coming into this?
As you all said, as far as it looks like to me, NASCAR tracks are more about a bunch of bleachers out there and metal than it is sitting in a big, huge concrete structure.
Back to the phones we go. 865-200-5402. Now, with what Freddie said, I'm still like deathly afraid. Houston Fopiano, who listens to us, longtime listener, proud T Club supporter here. Son of 2 Tennessee grads, family in East Tennessee, grew up in South Jersey. I've always felt an affinity for your show, he says. I haven't lived up north for 30 years, but keep up with the Eagles and listen to WIP, the sports station, sporadically via podcast. I was listening to McNall and Didinger yesterday to get their takes on the Minshew trade, and guess who calls at the 109:45 mark? And then he sent us the Titans bill call. Should we play, Brian, today? Do you want to?
Yes.
Brian, you want to hear it?
Yes.
Big R, do you believe we should
Yes.
the Titans bill today and play that? All right,
I'd
let's
like to
do
hear
it.
it myself.
All right, 105:49. All right, let's do it here. Put him back on hold. Let's try and find it. 105:49. Let's see if we can find it.
Oh God, this is gonna be great.
105:49. I'll jump right to it.
It's also
Let's go right
stuff
here.
resolved.
16. 105.
And it seemed
I'm
to
good
be-
at this. I'm good at this.
With my eyes closed.
I'm good at this. I'm good at this.
And we'll
That's
be back
52.
back for practice.
49.
The interview.
48. Probably isn't great radio. This is something from WID. We're probably
They'll start
violating all kinds
week,
of
you'll see.
rules doing
Won't move
this.
for another quarter.
But who cares?
Ray did your Glenn McNeil.
Here we go.
My thoughts exactly.
They did talk about his appearances on
Here comes.
Rowan and Martin's Laughing, which he said were really a blast. He said, to spend a day on the set of
That's
Laughing was
Ray
really
Didinger right there, a long-time
All right, so you
guy
turned
from.
out were a big fan of Mr. Ed, which
Here we
I
go.
have to tell you was not on my bingo card. Okay, I did not
It's
anticipate.
10 seconds away. Here we go.
No, I remember.
These guys are good together, Bino. You'd like these two guys.
I remember Mr. Ed. I thought Mr. Ed was stupid when I was
Here we
7.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Maybe I was too young and that you had the hots for the wife and I had not developed those feelings yet.
I think
That's
that was probably part of it. And
That might be.
Vince admitted that he had a little Connie Hines thing working too.
That's her name, Connie Hines.
You know, and Al Morgani is apparently on the record as saying the same.
Wow.
Yes, but the talking horse was just stupid. So my follow-up question is,
I don't
as
remember
such,
her, Bino.
then,
Do you
were
remember her?
Young
Here comes Titans
growing
Bill
up,
on this show right here.
In, Southwest.
Bino, do you remember Connie
Philadelphia,
Hines?
Right.
Bino?
Were you a Gilligan's Island devotee?
Oh man,
Miles.
What happened to Bino?
Perfect.
I wasn't a
down?
huge fan.
Perfect
I would
for
watch
Bill.
it if it sort
Bino,
of fit into my
unmute
schedule,
you.
But I didn't sort of set my schedule around
Here
it.
comes Titans Bill, Bino. Bino, here we go.
I'm telling you, whoever wrote
Are you a Connie
Mr. Ed
Hines fan, Bino?
Whoever wrote the lines for Mr. Ed was
I
very funny. 'Cause Mr. Ed had
I think it was Hemingway.
he had
Now
a
it's
real
one,
edge
I think
to him.
106:49 is what he said.
He was such a wise guy.
Come on.
And playing him off of Wilbur was actually it was very well done.
I'm looking up. It says
Here we go.
The Mr. Ed dialogue provided by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Right.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay. I thought it might have been
Now it's
Larry
at 107.
Mel Brooks, perhaps.
Yeah, there you go.
Probably violating some rules here.
215.
Here we go. Here comes Titans.
592 94.
Did this really happen?
You all the time. Ray Dinger, Glenn Mack now on 94 WIP.
But why didn't you stop her?
Here it comes. It's got to be Titans bell right here out of the break.
Because the Fregosi Emerald has a curse on it, and anyone who wears it is guaranteed horrible bad luck. Oh dear! Why did Eddie have to give her that ring?
Lily, pay no attention, dear. A ring can't put a curse on you. It's just another of Grandpa's silly old superstitions.
Here we go.
Well, Ray, there you go. The Fregosi Emerald.
Where's Titans bell?
You didn't remember that one, huh?
Yeah. What are these guys doing? I want Titans Bill now.
They got Jim Fergosi's permission.
Do you
to
want
that,
Titans
but,
Bill, Bri?
You know, we had the Fergosi.
I mean, if I was, we should have had you screen this.
Also has to do with the trade,
Yeah,
right?
our buddy.
I mean, that's probably what it's about. That he got traded for
Here
Nolan
it comes.
Ryan.
It's got to be coming right here.
Done before that. When was the Munster Zone?
60s.
And he was traded.
Yeah, that came later.
God, Titansville. You were very good on here, Titansville.
Right.
It was after that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they just like the name.
I probably so.
By the way,
can you go to the phones?
Remember Movie Herb, our friend?
Caller Pace. Good gosh almighty. Caller Pace, Glenn Mack now.
Appearing as themselves on Mr. Ed. Mae West.
They leave Titansville on hold longer than you do.
Zsa Gabor.
Damn Titansville.
See why they love this show.
Let me get R in
Clint
here.
Eastwood in an episode called Clint Eastwood.
Arbino and me, or these two guys. Where are you?
You know, you can find all these, I'm sure, on YouTube.
I'm sure.
And Leo DeRocher. Well, that was always that was the
baseball
thing. By the way, also guest starring on the Showtime was Sharon Tate.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Sharon Tate.
There you go.
It really was a very amusing show.
When did he say it was coming, Bri? Because it's 109.08 now.
You said like 107.
Yeah, it was like.
I mean, I love my guy from New Jersey, but and I appreciate him. He's a T Club member. You're my boy now. I bet I misread the email. Bino, how much money you got that I misread the email? What do you think I misread the number, Bino?
I'm telling you, the byplay.
Tony, I'm going to take him marking the tape over you, and I'm sorry about this.
Wow.
Let's go to
Here we go. Here it is.
Tennessee.
Turn up.
What's up with that? Hey, Bill.
Hey, how are you doing this morning, gentlemen? Before I give you my Gardner Minshew trade, I'll tell you who did the voice of Mr. Ed.
No.
Alan Rocky Lane.
Oh, no, he didn't.
Now, Alan Rocky Lane was among that elite with Roy Rogers, Gene Autry, Lash LaRue.
Wow.
And he was a cowboy western star, a B western cowboy star.
The show is pretty much off the rails at this point.
Yeah.
Titans Bill rocking it.
I do know that Alan.
You actually
rocking it, Billy rocking it.
I did know that. I was old enough to know that wasn't the horse dog. The one thing I do know is that the guy that played Wilbur later became the voice of Scrooge McDuck.
Oh no, this show's Titans Bill.
I got to rein it back. We're getting way.
Titans Bill took their show, Bino, into parts unknown.
Well, at least he didn't tell him. At least he didn't have to go off speakerphone.
No, well, how about that, Titans Bill? Why don't you show some damn respect, Titans Bill? When I come to you, get off your speakerphone, Billy. How about Bino pointing that out? The man was ready to go, Big R. Did you notice that? The man was ready to go. He didn't have to walk into his kitchen to get into a better cell either.
Oh, gosh, Tony, his reaction with this thing coming off the rails. How many times have we had...
Oh, no, Titans Bill's never pulled this show into ditches. Hey, what do you think the people on WJB are listening when he does his women of color or his women over the age of 80? You think those people are just like, what the hell? Or you're driving through Knoxville and you happen to hear that and you're going, what the hell is this? What is this?
Oh, shit.
Oh, his reaction there was...
That was amazing. I don't even know what I was going to talk about. That was great. I appreciate it. Tony, hit the replay on that when the guy says it's going off the rails. I'd like to hear his voice again.
Mac now was like, what in the world? Bill goes, I'll tell you who played the voice. And he was like, what? So great.
Oh,
Bill, we love you. Bill, if you're listening,
oh gosh,
we value you so much. I love you so much, man.
I'll tell you one thing. I think Titusville got them back on track.
I agree with that.
Miss Red and the Munsters, for heaven's sake.
I mean, they played a clip from the Munsters. I'm like, is Philly sports that bad? Yes, they are.
Oh, goodness.
Hey, if you watch the Phillies all summer, I'd be talking about the Munsters and Mr. Ed, too.
Oh, man. Guys, Saturday I woke up from a nap. You know, you kind of fall asleep, you got one eye kind of halfway open. Bino, I looked at that freaking team. I was about half startled. And I thought, my gosh, I'm seeing Gitmo play for every college game I try to watch. Watching that Nebraska game, I thought somehow or another I was hallucinating. I mean, he was appearing in every game that I'm going to try to watch this season. Because I have never seen anybody remind me more of Gitmo himself, because though Martinez is fast, it takes him 12 years to hit that top gear. He can't escape from the pocket. I mean, the whole thing. I was so interested by it, Tony. I listened to their call-in show.
Oh, wow. Like after games? After games?
Yes.
How was it?
It was sad, Tony. Honestly, it was sad. It reminded me a lot of us, of course. But they pointed out some things that I hadn't thought about. Same frustrations they don't understand. One guy said something that cracked me up so similar. He goes, Martinez, does he have information on Frost or something? What is this? And I thought, my goodness, similarities are eerie, but they were talking about how much better the line blocked and all these other things except for special teams, but yet they have people running wide open and we still have this guy playing quarterback. But somebody brought up the why don't we run the option? And I thought, I'll be interested in this.
My God,
and you know what the guy's response was? He says, because Nick Saban bullied the NCAA into making all the blocks necessary for those types of offenses illegal.
God.
And I had not thought about that at all.
That's fantastic. Everybody blames Saban. I love that.
Yeah, there might be some truth in that, though. He says he really, literally redefined the shot block to suit his needs.
Yeah, this is a unbelievable to get that kind of comment that many miles away in another league. I mean,
did you listen to
far-reaching?
Did you listen to it, Brian? I heard they had a.
They actually do something where they start their game coverage game days 4 hours before kickoff, and they're on the air for like 11 hours.
So if we,
game day.
Brian,
it's very similar to us.
If we get any worse, I'm going to start doing like a 5-hour pregame. Because a post-game and like a 20-minute post-game. Because it's so depressing after losses. Like, can you imagine starting the season with Illinois? There's a coach that was fired last year. Brett Bielema was so bad at Arkansas, he didn't even get a buyout. They said to him, you were so shitty, you don't get any buyout money.
And
by the way,
Butch Jones, by the way.
Well, interesting.
I mean,
interesting.
And they were playing a backup.
I thought was really interesting.
Illinois was playing a backup quarterback, okay? And they were a 7-point dog.
Saturday.
Yeah. That was the backup quarterback.
And they had a 21-point lead in the fourth quarter. I mean, they just blew Nebraska out. That's what's incredible about it.
Well, the show I was listening to said that now Martinez has turned the ball over 36 times.
Good God.
Guess who Nebraska has to play in a couple weeks?
Who's that?
Oklahoma.
Oh my gosh! Oh my!
And not to mention, against in addition to Wisconsin and some of the others in the Big Ten,
Michigan, Ohio State, they play them all.
You think they're going to have a good season now?
That guy's terrible at quarterback. I mean, honestly, that guy's horrible.
Well, they beat him down. By the way,
he's terrible, Tony. That guy's terrible.
Scott Frost tried to get out of that game, and Moose, their AD, before Trev Alberts, wouldn't let him. That's a fact.
To get out of the Oklahoma game.
Look it up. Yeah, he tried to get out of it, and they said, "No, sir. No, we weren't. You weren't not hired in year 4."
You can't beat anybody with that guy for a quarterback.
No.
I mean, that's Gitmo time. I mean, it's so eerie, and he'll do just enough to keep his job. It's straight Gitmo. Just like when you're ready to bench Gitmo, he'd throw that arrow, he'd shoot that arrow one time, throw a pretty good pass or something. You know, this guy breaks off a run. It's what he does. And you go, he's a good kid and he's tough. Or the same thing. Oh my gosh, it was eerie.
Big R, I absolutely love you, but I want you to go get some help. You watched a decade of Garantano, and we finally get rid of him, and now you're listening to Nebraska's show.
Oh, I want to listen to it Saturday.
Martinez plays.
I want to listen to
Stop it, Big R.
Brian, you tried to find it, didn't you? I wanted to listen to it. Or send me that link. I want to start hearing that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try to look it up. I can't remember. I was listening to it on TuneIn on one of the stations. I'll try to see if I can't find it.
What sport is Nebraska good at? They're no good in football. They don't have a basketball program. Their baseball team,
they're no good.
Yeah, but yeah, they're usually not very
middling
good.
in basketball.
They have nothing. They got no
softball
out there.
No sports.
That's any good at anything.
The only thing they're good at, Bri, in that state is hosting the World Series.
And that's the only time anybody ever comes there. It's 2 weeks out of the year. That's the only time you think about Nebraska. It's 2 weeks out of the year.
Well, they keep blaming Nick Satanic. They're pretty good at that, and they'll be an ally of mine. I'm for anything that destroys the SEC as it is, and because he's the one that runs the thing, and I'd like to see the SEC absolutely just destroyed. I'm for the alliance. I'm for anything other than the current SEC, because it does nothing for Tennessee. It has done nothing good for us. So
I'm coming around to Papa's way of thinking on that. The SEC has become
really stupid, in my
points
opinion, bloated
and obnoxious, but it's too big to stop now. You can't stop it, and it's going to run.
Abolish it because we suck.
And they know that's going to happen too.
Guys, y'all be good. I'm out.
Man, think about this, we went from 25 years ago, them costing Peyton Manning the Heisman trophy, and they proudly did that. They flexed on Tennessee then. Talk about ESPN, to now they're in total bed with the league.
I think the reaction to that sort of spurned what we're seeing as far as them getting in bed with the league now.
Oh my gosh!
I don't know what it was.
They knew that this is a very passionate area of the country for college football.
Yeah, we wreck every half
and
mile.
it's probably why the backlash sort of set that in motion.
Well, what's weird about the SEC emerging as the winner and all that is that the Big Ten really has the population, but the SEC drives the TV numbers because a lot of the NFL fans want to look at the game at its highest level.
Yeah.
So we took our passion and bought great players. That's essentially what happened. The passion has brought the great players in. The better and better players. I mean, look at like all the Ole Miss guys that are in the NFL now versus 25 years ago. Look at all of them.
190 miles to go.
I mean, Southeastern Conference players are everywhere in the NFL.
Yeah,
They're used everywhere.
Yeah,
look at one of those drafts. Let's go back to our phones. I mean, even Florida. Florida has some NFL
Let's go to
players.
Florida. Speaking of Florida, here's Florida.
Even they have some NFL players.
Oh,
crying out loud.
here we go.
Hey, Florida.
I'll be damned. Hey, what is going on there, Tony B, where, you heard your coach.
Yep.
Name a starter that everybody was expecting has been a starter, because Bino's boy is so slow, I can put him up against a tortoise and he could. The tortoise couldn't.
I bet Gitmo would beat him in a race. Go ahead.
But are you happy now? Brian, has your mind changed about the Florida game? Bino, has your mind changed about the Florida game? All this hype is getting you absolutely nowhere.
Boy, Florida week's going to be great.
So, can y'all answer the question? Has any of y'all mind changed on the Florida-Tennessee game?
Brian, has your mind changed?
Not yet. I'd have to see more from either team to. I'm leaning lost, but I mean, I want to see how each team looks coming in.
Brian, Joe Milton's been named the starter. Does that impact your decision where you are right now?
Not right now, no.
Brian, Joe Milton ran away with the quarterback, and he's going to be one of the best.
That's good.
Brian, he's going to be a great quarterback here. Is that lean on your decision?
Stop.
It might. I want to see what happens.
Brian, he's going to ball out.
Yeah.
They're going to attack downfield, Brian.
But Tony, here's the thing, bro.
And Florida has no secondary. Brian, when you watch them, hang on. I guess Brian one more question. Brian, when you see Bowling Green out there, I want you to think about Florida and just insert Florida helmets over top of the Bowling Green helmets.
That's where Urban Meyer got his start, by the way.
Exactly. And when they're attacking, and Nick Saban got his start at Kent State. So when they're attacking 75 yards downfield, Brian, 7 or 8 times on Thursday night, and you see Big Joe throwing that long ball, Brian, are you going to think about them throwing over the top of Florida? You better. Because Florida is, I guarantee you, as Florida watches that game, he's going to go, man, our hoopty secondary's in big trouble in this game. Look how far Big Joe could throw the football. Florida, won't you be having that thought?
Keep right. No, because you know why, Tony? You know what? Our defense was absolutely horrible last year. And I argue with my friend Vic Smith about it all the time. He was just so Florida this and this. We winning and all that. I don't care about winning if your defense sucks, because that's what win ball games.
Exactly right.
And our offense carried us through that last year. But what I'm telling you is, you are playing Bowling Green, Kentucky. Now, if Bowling Green have to be better than everybody else and they happen to be a little bit better than y'all predicting, just like y'all did Georgia State 1 year ago today.
2 years ago.
What are you going to do?
Listen, Florida.
Boy.
I give you kudos in Fulmer's language for keeping it 100 on here, admitting that your secondary was absolute and your defense last year was kind of trash. I give you credit for that. You know, when you and I spar here, one thing I give you credit for, though, buddy, when you take that equipment, and that's why I love you as a caller, when you put that mask on, unlike Lefty, and you call balls and strikes, you call them right down the middle. Now, I don't know what Lefty's looking at when he's behind the plate. 'Cause that's a horrible umpire right
Lefty's
there.
just like you, Tony. He's a fan. He's just a fan. But you know what? I have to step outside. I'm telling you, I'm a Florida fan from start to finish. But, Tony, if we suck, I will give Dan Mullen the business. Dan Mullen should have fired that dude last year.
Todd Grantham, you mean?
Todd Grantham,
Todd Grantham. He should have fired him last year.
Florida, Bino, you say what you want about Florida, but my man right here, he gets behind that plate and he calls balls and strikes. Now, and I give him credit, Bino. The man has showed fear on here as we've gone.
Where was Todd Grantham ever good at?
Tony, why you keep saying?
Well, wait a second here. Wait a second, Bino. When the man comes on here and he shows some fear towards the end of September, you got to give the man credit, Bino.
Florida's trying to go national here, Tony. I'm trying to stay in the Tri-County area, and Florida's trying to take its thing national. It's a tug of war.
What is the Tri-County area, Bino? Tell Florida.
Well, the Tri-Cities, Dawson, Marlow, and Shin-Liver.
Yeah.
The Tri-County is
Greenville.
Well, no, hang on. He's going to tell you the Tri-Counties. Go ahead, Florida.
The Tri-Cities in my world is Shin-Liver, Dawson, and Marlow, Florida.
Shin-Liver, Dawson, and Marlow, Florida. Have you ever been there? You ever been to Shin-Liver, Florida?
Man, you know they don't allow my kind up in Shin-Liver, Tony.
Body be boom! Lightning strikes the Basilio show. What about Marlow? Have you ever been to Marlow?
They don't allow my kind up there either, Tony. I was born today, but it wasn't yesterday.
That's two.
I know where I'm born and where I'm not.
That's 2 strikes.
I'm just telling you.
That's 2 strikes. I'd have you in the Rainier studio, Florida. I'll tell you what, when the Florida week rolls around, you make a date. You're coming right to the Raymere studio, right out here in God's country, U.S. of A., where I don't know if they allow your kind, but you'll be here. I'll get you in
If
here.
I lived there in Florida, we'd have a cookout, and I guarantee you'd be there.
Say?
And I'm trying to beat Pittsburgh. I don't know anything about Florida.
Bino, quit. Don't
Hell
say
yeah,
that
Bino.
to him. You do know about Florida. You know that Florida's got fear in his voice.
Yeah, I know what this Florida series has been. I want to beat Pittsburgh. Then we'll worry about Florida.
Here's the thing, B. Hey, Bino, here's the thing, bro. You welcome to my house anytime. I throw barbecues every year. I'm having one on the 6th. Before y'all game, before and after y'all game next month.
I'll be there. 6th of September?
Okay. Yes, I'll be there.
Can I come?
I live in Blank. Yeah.
All right, so I'm playing music. Friday night, right?
Yeah.
So Thursday, I'm up all night. I didn't know we had music Friday. Lance said, man, I'm really excited about Friday. I said, what's Friday? He said, well, we're playing music. I said, but I'm up all night. He said, I didn't tell you to stay up all night. but you're playing music Friday at 6 o'clock because you committed to it. And I said, yeah, but I'm up all night till 1 o'clock. He goes, well, you better take a good nap. How about that, Florida? How about Sexy Lancey telling me I better get a good nap in? Huh?
Where you gonna be at? Because I'm coming to watch you.
Really?
Yeah. Where you gonna be at? I'm telling you, I'm coming.
Well, we're playing. We'll play some stuff you like. We're gonna play a little soul.
I'm a more blues guy.
We play a lot of blues. Okay, so we're playing at Corner 16 Friday night out in West Knoxville.
I know where Corner 16 is. That's my favorite restaurant.
There you go.
Yeah, I love Corner 16. Yeah, I'll be down there Friday night. What time?
You won't believe it. You'll be like, God, my boy Basilio can play a little bit. Florida, can you sing it all? Will you come up and sing a tune with us?
I might do a little karaoke. I get enough of that spirit juice in me, Tony. I might come up right there.
I'd love to hear you. I'd love to hear you come up and sing a little tune with us.
Which corner 16, Tom?
Out West Knoxville, the original corner.
Middlebrook
Pike. You got it.
Yes, sir. I got you, man.
But Lancey, I said to Lancey, I said, so I'm gonna be up all night. He said, well, okay. He said, we didn't tell you to stay up all night. I didn't give you that idea, but you're playing music with us Friday. You committed to it, and I was like, well, I mean, okay.
You just found out about this today?
Last night.
Oh, good. So
I said, but I'm up all night. He said, yeah, I know you are. He said, I was hearing you promote it, but I said, what? We're playing? Oh yeah, we're playing. Am I playing? Yeah, you're kind of in the group. I mean, yeah, you're playing. How about that, Bino? I said, well, what am I going to do? He said, well, I hope you get a good nap.
Maybe get Cinco to fill in.
I hope you get a good. I hope you get a good nap. Maybe Cinco will come from the stadium and just do Garza Law up all night for me, Brian. You think he will?
Maybe Cinco can sub in on corner 16.
Interesting. Maybe Florida will get up there and pick a tune or two for me.
Yeah. I used to play the trombone a long time ago, buddy.
Don't bring your don't bring your trombone.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
But hey, Tony, what time? You ain't giving me no time.
Oh, we play it. I'll get. Let me look here. Let me text Sexy Lancey. I'll put that out over the app so you can hear it. Okay.
Yeah, because you know what, Tony? I'm coming to see playing. You're going to notice me because I'm going to come in that Florida down. You're going to have me Florida from head to toe.
What's Florida down? What's that mean? Never heard that term.
Dressed from head to toe in all nothing but Florida.
Great term. That is a great term. And you'll know it's me.
You'll know it's me when I walk through the door.
I'll be the Italian guy that looks like he's about 95 years old.
I already know what you look like. I met you before. You just don't remember me, Tony, but that's okay.
No. We met at the Pilot over off, I'll tell you where we met. Hang on. Rutledge Pike, Pilot. How close am I?
I know you right on ball from it, Tony, because I just lived down the street from Pilot on Rutledge Pike.
Well, that's where we met, right?
That's exactly right, because I told you about my son and Jordan's son when they was hooping at Carter. I told you.
What time at Corner Friday? I'm asking Lance right now. All right. Well, all right, my man. Much love to you. Is there anything else you want to say today? Because, again, if you want to share your fear, we're here for you, buddy.
Brian, do you think I'm fearful? That's what I want to ask. If Brian thinks I'm fearful, then I'll do it. I'll be fearful till September the 18th.
And stay around. But apparently,
where you think you've got a better opportunity to play.
Salter wasn't starting. South Carolina. We'll go back to our phones.
Tony, I thought for the most part, up on the line.
Have gone off of Garen's.
Arkansas.
And I'm just sitting there going, Ghost.
There aren't any
Stone.
Down to see where Tennessee would stand with him.
And they couldn't pull some. Appreciate you, thank you.
Reading here, that's all you. But really and truly,
where you think you've got
Alabama. Of course. If I were
getting nervous, Bino.
There aren't any Mo Riveras.
Can't get out of your own way timing wise.
Are you guys gonna?
And it looked beautiful. And I
say to the lady when she's.
And did we mention?
We're coming at you right now. Which it didn't look like they're comfortable playing physically. Because Nick Saban's turned his team into a finesse defense.
That's just not what Tennessee's doing this year. They're, for whatever reason, they're going kind of up tempo a little bit. And
Jalen Waddle compound,
but
he is right. Georgia, a show on turf. We're going to go to the phones. Get as many people in here as humanly possible. We'll watch some action tonight. There's some West Coast action later on tonight. If you're joining us, it's Garzalaw Fifth Quarter Fan Reaction, the program. It's all about you, your reaction to today's game. Let's get our first call in, and then we'll meet our esteemed panel here. Because you're Ole Miss.
Throws a couple of balls.
Would you start, is there, any we could see that?
I thought.
The thought occurred to me, I'm like...
What is happening?
No, I bet you my dog would turn its nose up at these things. All right, quick story I can't tell on the air. I love you. God bless. Go Vols, go. Take the bow. Gotta go. Gotta roll. To the callers we couldn't get to, I love each and every one of you. There were good positive things that happened today. So I bring Matt Dixon in now.
About the quarterback.
All of the night, we'll get our next call in as the Vols get rolled by Bama, a couple weeks off before Tennessee gets back to it. Up today, they schemed
those concepts that we've been seeing. It seems like
every other play.
No, we missed Roger.
Bill took their show. All right,
I'd
let's
like to
do
hear it myself.
All right, tour championship have left. Bino, are you going to agree with Jay there? Interesting.
You're right.
Trying to be going to mitigate. I'll let Bino worry about that later. Unfortunately. Good, Charlie.
Ole Miss.
What's the...
I guess no Roger today. That sucks. All right. No Roger. Well, shoot. They're 800 miles. All right, anyways, folks, we're going to end it here. It's late. We're tired. We got to work in the morning. But thank you for joining us. Hope you enjoyed all of our wrecks. Oh, man, what a terrible day. Terrible day of driving. But have a great day, and bye-bye.